Welcome to the Neighborhood Watch Party podcast with George, James, and Drew. While we may essentially just be fans of the sport, we passionately debate it weekly and have recorded it here for your viewing pleasure. Check out our social media in the description to find us on other platforms. Please enjoy. Hello everybody, welcome to the Neighborhood Watch Party with George, James, and Drew. We have a very special live episode, as you can tell, for the boys in this episode 4 of our podcast. I forget the exact, we're on week 15 now, is it? Or is this week 16?
This would be
week 15.
Yeah, it's 16. 16. This is 16. No, it's 16. This is 16.
Week 16 of NFL football analysis. We're doing this on a Wednesday. We're going to probably be starting this podcast off on a more downtrodden note. I'm sure you guys have heard the news this morning. We've talked about it a little bit just in anticipation of the game for the anniversary of this player coming up, just because I'm a Steelers fan. But with the passing of Franco Harris today, the NFL lost a big community, especially for Steelers fans, but I mean fans of the game all around. The Immaculate Reception is probably one of the most historic plays in NFL history. Every time I go through Pittsburgh Airport, I look for that statue of Franco holding the ball right there down above the grass. And so we're just going to start off with a few seconds of silence for Franco, and then we'll get the more positive stuff of this. On that note, though, it was an exciting week of football. There were some historic things happening.
Football, man.
Yeah, and so we've got lots of things to go over today. We're going to start it off just like we usually do, talking about the bets, but right after our bets, I actually have a little bit of announcement for our podcasting world. I'm going to stake some stuff here on the podcast live, I think. So that's going to happen. But we've got a big roadmap for you today. We got week 15 of football. We've had a lot of big games, big upsets, big performances. And so there's lots of stuff to talk about. We also have a lot of stuff with our favorite teams and with the Jaguars in a particularly explosive overtime win.
Against a very good Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say very good, but I mean,
I'd say very good Cowboys. It's a very good record.
Yeah,
Cowboys
sure.
team.
But we get back into the breaking news, some MVP conversation, some fantasy talk, and even some sports betting news, given where we are and where we're located. And then finally, we'll talk about week 16. We'll give your predictions. We'll give our bets for that game, and we'll get into the bulk of our podcast now. However, we'll start at the top with a little betting scoreboard update. Now, where we were before, we were looking at Drew at 10, George at 8, and James at 4. And so it was really anyone's game. The things started to tighten up, particularly after a more spread out week 1. But going into week 3, I guess first things first, are we going to count ties, like holds, as 1 point or no points? Because we all had one this week, so it would affect us all equally.
I'd say no. That's not. You didn't win that.
Okay, that's fine. Because we all had one bet this week where we didn't. It was a push. It was the same game, Titans +3, Chargers -3.
We were all on that game.
Yeah.
Wow. We were.
I think the thing is, in the future, we should maybe look for half spreads, and if there's a game like that, we can maybe decide as a group to kick that up or down, just to ensure.
Yeah, it's the risk you take if you take a full point spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to win. You can't push.
Fair enough. But we'll start top of the list because I was in first, and after this week, still managed to scrounge around in first after not getting a single one of my normal picks right. I looked back at this immediately after last week's episode, and I knew it was going to be a bad week of betting. I picked like 3 big spreads, and I was just like...
The big spread got me the week before.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was thinking too. And I saw the Chiefs-Texans game, and I'm like, I just made fun of George for betting against the Texans, and I'm going to look like a fool doing it.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the episode too, that we didn't think that was a great bet.
No, I know, and that's looking afterwards, I was just like, I want to pick some teams I think will win, and that's what happened. They just didn't win by enough. And so
good teams win, great teams cover.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. So Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, -9, -7.5, -14, all fall through. I hold on my Titans +3 pick. But my Steelers came through. We dominated the Panthers in a game that the other boys weren't as confident in my dogs about.
Game.
Hey, that's
it didn't look like a one-possession game.
But James had a much stronger week. I think James actually had his best week yet with a 3-point performance. He had a hold on the Chargers game that we just mentioned.
4-point performance.
He lost his Jets and Commanders pick. Oh, he had a 4-point performance. You're right. Yeah, James is at 8 this week with a Jags win plus 4.5 and a Bengals.
4-point performance.
Yeah,
too.
I can't count.
You're
Yeah,
messing both of us.
Yeah, but I doubled my points. It's
yeah,
different for
I've
me.
got it added in there. We're
You
all
messed
good.
your points up too, actually.
Yeah,
Should be
I
13.
we have all the correct values are in parentheses.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did correct it.
Okay.
Well, no, because originally that was supposed to be with our plus ones and minus. I didn't know, but it
But
appears
they
that
are correct in
they-
the
they-
parentheses.
yes, yes. And so with a Lions straight dub and a 49ers money lock, George gets some dubs but loses that New England and Vikings pick he had. Titans he held with me.
He lost that New England pick very hard.
And so
Now, that New England pick, I had that in my house pick'em. I had that in the podcast. I was like, Billy Belichick, playoffs on the line. He ain't losing this.
fair.
I don't think Billy Belichick lost it, but we're going to get into that
I
momentarily.
was saying, I don't think Bill lost it. Some other people
Yeah,
lost that.
but
game.
that puts
Blame will be placed.
that puts the scoreboard at 13. Drew, George at 12.
right behind.
And James at 8. So it's the race is tightened up. It's getting better. Everyone's improving their performance a little bit.
I actually have not had
Yeah.
the same performance since week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubled my points. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy.
James is catching up. It's becoming very competitive. And so that's where we leave our betting scoreboard update at. However, before we get into our big portions of the episodes, I do have an announcement to make.
I would like to make it known that me and James do not know what he's about to say.
Yeah, we have
This
no
is
idea.
true. I have kept it as a surprise because I've honestly, I may have hinted at it sort of in our conversations before the podcast, but there have been some strifes in a relationship of mine with a certain institution. And, you know, after going back and forth with this institution, there's only so much I can take.
Oh, let's get about Ohio State.
And so you think it's about
No, it's not about Ohio.
It's not about the Ohio State ticket office.
it's a little. Listen, I won't forget about the Ohio State ticket office. And if anything, this can go to confirm my point about them. But I'm staking something on week 4 of college football next season.
Ooh.
Whoever wins that week will have my fanship for the rest of my
Wow.
waking days.
I should make it known that is the Ohio State Notre Dame game
You know-
in South Bend, Indiana.
Wow.
I'm giving my boys one more
Wow.
chance. I'm giving them one shot. The Notre Dame's the only thing the football team's the only thing I like about this institution anymore. And if the football team falls through, I'm done. Backing out of my alma mater, I'll burn the diploma. No, I mean maybe not that much. Maybe not that much.
Hey, Mama Niter.
Let's hope Mama Niter and Papa Niter don't find this.
Can we clip this, Jamie?
No, we don't. I'm just putting it out there. I'm tired of Notre Dame losing. And this is the Marcus Freeman had his year. That's all I'm going to say. That's our only college football talk for the day.
I like how this is your breaking point. Like, I feel like between George and I for professional teams have had way more breaking points than just like a bad year.
There's a lot more personal stuff. Again, sort of like I said before the podcast, with just me interacting, trying to apply to grad school, stuff like that. So it's a lot more personal than the football team. It has nothing to do with the organizations themselves or their performances. I mean, Marcus Freeman is probably going to blow another lead in this bowl game, and so if that happens, I'm going to
Are
be.
you guys playing the bowl game?
I don't even know. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't watch. That's the thing. I haven't watched a Notre Dame game since like week 2 when we lost to Marshall. Like,
I've watched more Notre Dame.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I was.
Imagine losing to Marshall.
Couldn't be Ohio State.
But we'll get off CFB because that's going to be pretty much the end
Because
of that.
this sports podcast has turned into an NFL podcast.
Yeah, it has. I mean, we still talk about some other stuff here,
Hey,
but
the
that's
offseason we might have to shake it up a little bit more.
I
but
can't
right
wait for the golf meetings.
Right now, the NFL's been too entertaining.
And listen, the thing is too is I'm totally down to like start. I mean, hockey and basketball are playing right now. We could talk NBA and NHL.
I mean, Alex Ovechkin is on record-setting pace right
And like
How exciting NFL has been right now, though.
no, but that's what I'm
Nobody
saying.
cares about anything.
That's what I'm saying.
now.
It's
Oh,
like
no. I care about Alex Ovechkin beating Gretzky for the scoring record. I care.
Is it all time or season? What's going on?
It's
I have
all
no
time.
clue.
He's over 800 goals now. I think he's 74 behind.
74. Is this in his last year?
Oh no, he's still going.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
no, but I've been seeing a lot of I get notifications on the Penguins, and like I've been seeing so many Sidney Crosby 2-goal games where I'm just like, this dude is still playing hockey. Like, I feel like this guy's been playing my entire life.
Yeah,
like,
he has.
I don't remember hockey without Sidney Crosby.
then that's my point.
Neither do I.
It's like it feels like the most dangerous sport They're walking around with blades on their
way.
feet and sticks
no way Sidney Crosby has any teeth left. They're just putting that out there.
But
they're fake. If you see Sidney Crosby teeth, those are fake.
He has a great dentist, let me tell you.
But yeah, there's other sports we can talk about. So if you guys have other teams you want us to look at, other big performances, we can keep our eyes. I watch a bit of NBA, so if I see any crazy like buzzer beaters, we can.
I do play fantasy basketball, which is wildly underwhelming compared to fantasy.
I don't. I played that
one. If you guys
one.
want to start the Bills-Dolphins talk, though, I gotta go grab something real quick.
Sounds good. We can get into that.
I suspect this might be cookies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, live.
Well, we're gonna hop into our bulk portion real quick. And so again, you know how we start every podcast. We start talking our big games, and there were a lot of big games, historic games, even in some circumstances.
I think we got to start with the history-making game right there, Nider.
Well, James did want us to start with the Bills
Oh,
fans.
maybe James wanted to talk about that.
But the big thing is this was getting hyped up. We talked about this a little last week in our breaking news section when we were talking about the implications of weather, and I think I bet the Bills, so I didn't follow my point that I said in the podcast, but I was very much saying that I didn't think the Finns would be affected by the snow.
They didn't seem to be.
And that's the thing.
They scored 29 points.
Tyreek didn't perform as well as you like
He
to.
had 22 fantasy points. I know that much.
But he was on Twitter. He's saying like he should have been performing better. So that's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're scoring 29 points, I don't think the weather's holding you back too much.
Oh, it's not. That's.
I do think it's a factor.
Oh,
Don't get
for
me
sure.
Wrong.
And so the big thing is we had that snowball. I mean, did you see the pictures in the stands of just like foot and a half of snow on the benches?
What was hilarious was they had to stop the game, and the referees had to make an announcement that if any more snowballs were thrown at the Miami Dolphins bench, the Bills would get a 15-yard penalty. So if I'm a Dolphins fan sitting in the front row,
I'm throwing snowballs.
I'm throwing snowballs at my own team because you could have got a 15-yard penalty out of it.
You're helping that's helping the team out.
That's worth getting ejected. 15-yarder?
Dude, if you got like 10 dedicated fans, that's up and down the field twice.
That's 2 scoring drives. So, but I will stake the claim that I bet there were under 10 Dolphins fans at this game.
Yeah, no.
Bills Mafia, the Orchard, and a Snowball. First of all, they weren't giving up those tickets.
Yeah, no.
Second of all, the Bills fans are just savages, and the Miami fans are too preoccupied. Show the camera, James.
Yeah, wait, let's get those.
Can we get them on?
This is the benefit of having live episodes, lads.
I hope them other boys that are coming later aren't too hungry.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
no, you're basically just talking snowball,
So
James.
I think we got it about wrapped up.
I mean, we really only talked
Bills
the
win.
snow.
Josh Allen's a beast, best QB in that class.
Can we talk a little bit more Bills? I feel like we didn't talk about the winning team enough there. We talked mostly about the Dolphins maybe not performing or performing
Bills
better
defense. You expect the Bills defense to play better against a pass-heavy team in the snow. Could that become a liability later in the playoffs?
-2 fantasy points.
Let's be real.
-2 fantasy points for Bills defense. I started them in a playoff game.
Same.
Against James.
Oh, we all.
Yeah, I was saying my other league I started. But no, I mean, let's be fair to the Bills defense. The snow didn't come until the end of the fourth quarter, so it was a cold game. It wasn't a snow game until the end. And when it was a snow game, their defense was better. But I mean, I just think it's impressive because for the game, Stephon Diggs didn't really have a great game, but the Bills' offense still performed very well against, Miami's defense isn't really sung very highly, but they're a solid unit. I mean, Xavier Howard and Byron Jones on the outside. You got Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins.
I mean, Vaughn's hurt,
Nick,
right? Isn't Vaughn on the Bills?
Vaughn's out.
Oh, Vaughn's on the Bills.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I'm saying the Miami defense is a pretty good unit, and I think the Buffalo offense continues to perform at a very consistent high level, despite injuries, despite maybe key players not showing up.
Well,
In this case, it was Stephon Diggs.
Here's what the Bills are doing right now that they weren't doing in the beginning of the season. They're running the football effectively with more than just Josh Allen. The first 8 weeks of this football season, the Bills couldn't run the ball if it wasn't Josh Allen. Devin Singletary and James Cook were 2 fumble machines that weren't getting anything done or any chunk plays. If you watch Devin Singletary in that game, dude looked like fucking Marshawn Lynch out there, dude. He was balling. So the Bills are running the football, and in Orchard Park, in the playoffs, you got to be able to run the football because there may be games where you can't pass it physically.
Let's give a shout out to Dawson Knox too, though. I mean, dude had 6 receptions, 98 yards, a touchdown. I mean, he was their MVP that night. I mean, he freaking.
What were the Bills' rushing stats, real quick?
The Bills' rushing stats. Well, their lead rusher was Josh Allen, 10 carries for 77 yards. But the Bills overall, Singletary actually really didn't have a good game. He rushed 13 times for 42 yards. James Cook had a few good runs, 5 attempts for 34 yards. It was mainly just Josh Allen doing work, to be fair. But
Hey,
like,
he's-
Devin Singletary's there, though. They're not turning the ball over. That's a really big
no,
point.
that's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, really fun game. Everyone loves a snow game, and I hope afterwards, I hope there were videos of snowball fights. I went to a Jets Steelers game in the Meadowlands when I was a kid, when I was like 8, and it snowed. Like if you stood still in your seats, you got like this much snow on your shoulders. Like that's how bad it was snowing. And the scene afterwards, there's nothing better than a snow game parking lot. Groups of fans of your jerseys against groups of fans in the opponents,
Oh, yeah.
just chucking snowballs.
That's sick.
The
Like-
snowballs they threw in the middle of that game were hilarious. The fact that they stopped the game for that was awesome.
We talked about
Yeah,
that.
we talked about that a lot. And again, how do you stop, like what would happen if a Miami fan just started chucking snowballs?
No, that's what I said, James. When they said if a Bill fan throws a football at the Miami or a snowball at the Miami bench, it's a 15-yard penalty for the Bills. I'm like, dude, if I'm a Miami fan sitting on that sideline, I'm launching them, dude.
Yeah,
I'm like Buddy the Elf.
Like, kick me out of the game. Give me them 15 yards.
When team wins, it's worth it.
But that's my point. It's like in an away game like that, even Miami in a snow game, you might not have maybe as many fans. But like, I imagine Steelers fans, like if we were in an away game like that, oh my God, we'd be throwing snowballs the whole time.
I feel like you just expect both fans to do that.
No,
Like,
but
I feel like
that-
it's not
Not
like
Miami
Well,
fans.
that's how can you punish it?
Well,
then?
that's fair.
First of all, I said there may have been 10 Miami fans at that whole game.
Well, that's the point. There. I mean, they don't have.
Sure,
fans
but
there,
my
so.
point is like at the point where that can happen, should you be doing that? Like I get that like maybe there's ice in those snowballs and it's potentially dangerous for the players, but snowballs don't feel like the most dangerous thing to me.
I mean, it's better than like throwing beer cans on the field.
Shout out Browns.
But that's my thing. Browns fans throw beer cans all the time and don't get flags. So why are we gonna threaten flags for snowballs?
Don't look at us over here. Hey, let's get to the next game here, though. We are going to try to do this episode a touch more quickly than
Yeah.
we've done previous
I mean,
episodes.
yeah,
so
we can move on to the coldest team in the league,
Hey,
the Indianapolis
This is
Colts.
unfortunate for me because I just got. There are only 99 of these cards made. I got a Matt Ryan. It was real unfortunate. It came in the mail like the day before the game.
you
I
would
was
have to pay someone to take that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
it's
maybe
super.
a Colts diehard would take it just because they want to know own every Colts player, but
No, but that's what I'm saying. Well, it's him in his Falcons uniform at least.
That's
Randy Ice on
arguably
the
as
Falcons
bad.
is incredible. I love
but
Randy Ice on the Falcons.
here's the thing, Matt Ryan just became maybe the
least
most
clutch.
impactful, least clutch quarterback.
It's so sad too because he
with-
does like lead. He like has one. He's like
33-point lead, right?
Well, he's also second in the league with fourth quarter like wins. Like it's
Well,
like fourth quarter comeback wins.
this is what I have to say. Matthew Ryan. I wish I knew his middle name so I could call him by his middle name right now. Matthew Ryan has blown the biggest regular season lead in NFL history, the biggest playoff lead in regular season history, the biggest Super Bowl lead in NFL history. And also, just to, like, throw salt in the wound, the biggest international lead in NFL history when they were playing international. He has blown all 4 of those. Can Matthew Ryan not play football in the second half?
For those few games, he cannot, and I think we're getting to the point now where Matty Ice may just want to retire.
He's on his way out.
I just want to remember the good days of Matty Ice when he was probably the best Falcons QB to play it.
Ever. Probably
Yeah.
still.
I mean-
No, Mike Vick was there.
Yeah, but Mike Vick didn't last as long. Mike Vick had like maybe
They did about the same thing. Both
Yeah, but-
0 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but hey, Matt Ryan had an MVP.
Matty Ice did get the MVP.
Matty Ice had the MVP the year he led up the biggest Super Bowl
Hey,
blowout.
did Vick get an MVP? I know he had a Madden cover with the Falcons.
I don't know if he ever. Maybe
He might have got an MVP with him.
I don't think he did though. I feel like that's.
I don't think he did either, but he might have.
But I think Matt Ryan will still go down as the best Falcons QB to ever play, just because of how long he's been there, how loyal he was. He didn't want to leave, But I think the team that we should be talking about
Is
is the Vikings.
prime time.
Prime time.
Hey, let's put it like this: if
No,
this
no,
game was
it's
under
what-
the lights, Kirk Cousins does not come back.
Oh no, not at all. At 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins was in full effect. And let me tell
Yeah.
you, 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins is incredible.
1 p.m. Kirk Thuggins. Come on. Someone got him an extra chain after that game because it was an incredible performance by the Vikings to come back from a 33-point deficit.
No, I remember sitting with my dad. We were watching football, and we just were looking at the bottom scroller, and we're like, "Oh, dang, it's 33-0."
Yeah, so I was like, I was tailgating the Browns game, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, we're not even
Colts-
going to try to put that on." Like it's 33-0.
No, and then I looked at the scroller after the second half, and it was like 33-7. And and I looked again, and it was like 33-26.
And you're like, what's happening?
It's like, wait, are they gonna lose?
It was
Are they
like
actually gonna lose?
36-28, and I'm just like,
We were actually watching it from in the stands with some people sitting next to us at the Browns game, the overtime, because overtime was still going on when the Browns game kicked off.
yeah, they didn't have the Browns game on. We were real happy.
I mean, I'm just looking at the Vikings stat line here for a second. I mean, they had almost 3 receivers go over 100 yards, and one of them was a running back. Dalvin Cook had
Okay, well,
95 yards.
It's like
Justin Jefferson
complimenting
had
Christian McCaffrey for
123
doing
yards, and then KJ Osborne,
KJ
out
Osborne
of nowhere, had 157
You
yards.
could get a couple tutties in there.
He had one.
Big fantasy performance by KJ Osborne, maybe on your waivers in your league.
I don't think probably no one started KJ Osborne to be completely honest. Maybe he was on a bench
But
somewhere. But
incredible performance by the Vikings. Matthew Ryan is the least clutch. Oh my, that's a kind of a tongue twister. Least clutch player
I mean,
in
there's
the history of the NFL.
But is it
Nathan Peterman exists?
is it Matt?
That's not clutch. That's sucky.
Is it Matt Ryan? I mean, Matt Ryan. You got to look at what he's in, right? Jonathan Taylor goes down, like first drive, right?
Basically.
And then they score 33 points.
Yeah, yeah, I can't really defend
No,
it.
but my point is it's just like that Steelers-Browns playoff game where I was like, oh, we got back. It was a one-possession game, George. But it's just like once you're up that much at half, you just don't play the same defense coming out.
Let's put it like this.
Their team choked.
Is it Matt Ryan's fault? Yes. It's other people's fault too, but is it Matt Ryan's fault? Yes. Nutter, you missed this stat.
Jeff Saturday cannot coach on Saturdays.
Matt Ryan, because while it's repetitive for the podcast, I need to inform Niter. Matt Ryan has now blown the biggest regular season
and
postseason,
and
Super Bowl,
yeah.
and international game.
Oh, I didn't know the international.
Salt on the wound.
I still think Matt Ryan should be in the Hall of Fame. But
I think that game
He's
might
good.
have legitimately hurt him for his Hall of Fame.
Oh,
I blame the Colts more.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
blame the team
Matt
more
Ryan,
than
hey,
him.
who's going to the Hall of Fame first, Matt Ryan or Eli Manning?
Eli
Manning.
Manning. Yeah.
He won 2 Super Bowls. I
I'm
mean,
not
you can't-
saying
that's-
like Matt Ryan's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame or anything. I feel like his name is big enough to warrant it, though.
But I mean, we've talked about the Colts' detriments. We've talked about the Vikings miraculously coming back. Let's bring it to this conversation though. How do we view the Vikings? Do we view them as a legitimate contender in the playoffs, or do we view them as a fraudulent team?
Fraud. I'll put any amount of money on this table right here and say that the Vikings will not forget win the Super Bowl. They won't sniff the Super Bowl.
You're saying they won't win a playoff game at all?
I don't think they'll win a playoff game. They might win one. I would think one
I think
max.
this game shows that they're never out of any game.
It's the Colts. It's Matt Ryan.
That's my point. It might be the Colts and Matt Ryan, but like we've been saying that about the Lions
I think
too.
if you put Dr.
Just any
Phil
team
at
can
quarterback in that game,
every team in this league is very good. It is not easy to win against any team in this league.
I agree.
No, the NFL has the best parity of any sports league in the world.
And my point is in that realm, the fact that you're able to put 39 up in a half, well plus overtime, but that shows a winner's spirit in my eyes, a certain never give up mentality. Even doesn't matter if this is going to be the biggest comeback in NFL history, we will do it.
No, I definitely agree that this sets a tone for the locker room, right? We don't give up. We play hard. We can win. Like it literally proves that you can do it, right? I think in terms of a morale booster, especially since they weren't spiraling, but they were, a lot. I mean, you had the 37-point Cowboy loss. You had them being in close games. To win this game was big for them. I don't think that they're the best team in the NFC by any stretch, but I think they have a chance. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance with that team.
They don't have a chance.
But,
all right, let's move on.
George, this is a game you want to talk about specifically, the Raiders-Pats game.
Heartbreaking to my outside sports activities, we will say.
I was just surprised the Raiders did it.
Maybe our real life scoreboard. When
I looked at the score, I didn't watch this game, but when I looked at it afterwards, like I was expecting the Pats to win this game by like 14.
Let's put it like this: that play to end that game, coming from a person that played football for over a decade. My coach, if someone on our team,
watch the ending play.
Yeah. Oh, we all watched the ending play.
Someone
I remember
on
now.
our team did that play on our high school team, they wouldn't see the field again that season. That play was the single most idiotic play I can remember in the history of the National Football League. The next most idiotic play was when Pat McAfee took a snap under center on a fake punt where everyone else cleared out and the guy just walked around the snapper and tackled him. That was the last time I seen a play this idiotic. Jacoby Myers, they were running the clock out. They ran the ball with like 4 seconds left, and they were like, all right, let's take this game to overtime. We're running the ball.
I think that's what they said.
Nope. If they did, there's no way that was a called lateral. And then even if it is a called lateral, who's the last person on the field that you want touching a ball in a lateral to try to score? Mac Jones.
All right, no.
So you're going to throw a ball 20 yards behind from where you're standing across the field without looking to Mac Jones.
If you're gonna yell at Jacoby Myers,
Ramondre Stevenson shouldn't have flipped it in the first place.
They flipped it to like 4 people.
No, it was 2 flips.
It was 2.
Ramondre to Jacoby to Chandler Jones, who ended up in the end zone on the other side.
I will definitely say there's been a lot more laterals this year at the end of games than I've ever seen.
And the thing is,
but not when you're tied, dude. That's so idiotic.
That happens.
They shouldn't have done that.
I see it all the time. Maybe not. I agree. Maybe you don't want to risk it when you're tied, but like, Bill Belichick feels like the kind of guy to say, I want to win games. And you got to remember, Bill Belichick is the kind of guy who's lost games to lateral plays many a time. I'm sure I don't need to remind you of the one of Gronk just like absolutely dodging.
Gronk have no pursuit anymore.
Yeah, but
that play was idiotic. There's no other word to describe that play except idiotic.
Yeah, I don't think.
And then when Chandler Jones catches the ball, he was like, how'd that even happen? And then Mac Jones looked like he was trying to take a charge from him.
That's what I'm going to say. If you're mad at anybody on that play, it is not Jacoby Myers.
No, it's Jacoby Myers.
It is Mac Jones.
I'm mad at Jacoby Myers.
I am mad at Mac Jones first.
Mac Jones is soft. Doesn't belong on a football field. He looked like he was trying to take a roughing the passer from Chandler Jones.
No, but that's my point, George. At the point, you're doing a lateral play. I'm assuming it was called because Jacoby
was not called.
Ramondre.
I'm pretty sure it's on the record that play was not called. They're never
going to say it was called.
Well, if they're not going to say it was called, but my thing is, too, if it wasn't called and then Ramondre Stevenson, your veteran superior.
He's not a veteran. He's a second-year guy.
Jacoby's a rookie.
No, he's not. I think they're both second-year guys.
I think they're both.
I thought Jacoby was a rookie.
No, I think they're both second years.
Oh,
Jacoby's the receiver 1 on that team.
Yeah, I mean, sadly.
I thought that was. I thought it was just like he's that good his rookie year. They don't have anybody.
I think blame goes literally everywhere because you have.
It was done for Ramondre to pitch it, but Ramondre did a little pitch to a guy 2 yards away.
Yeah,
it's like a thing for quarterbacks, I guess I should say, where you don't throw a ball across your body far away. Really across your body ever. He threw that ball across his body 20 yards backwards. He didn't look. He just went.
Well, I think he figured Mac Jones was there. It was a stupid play. I'm not sitting here.
Idiotic.
It was.
That's
really
the play
dumb.
I want us to use to describe it. Idiotic.
It was an idiotic play. I will say though, like I think Jacoby Myers deserves the most. I don't think really Ramondre Stevenson deserves really any blame. Maybe it was dumb to flip it. But
Ramondre didn't do a flip that could risk the Raiders scoring. Jacoby did.
Yeah, Jacoby should be the one at fault. I will say though, Mac Jones, any other QB is going to make that tackle. Like
I would not go that far,
dude,
but I think any other QB might give a better effort at making it.
Okay, we'll say better effort because
Tom Brady's frail butt gonna make that.
I think Tom Brady. I
think
Tom Brady gives more effort to make that tackle than Mac Jones. I think any other QB in the league makes more effort to make that tackle. I mean, we've seen QBs break their hands and arms trying to make tackles. Then Mac Jones just went down.
Mac Jones looks like he got tucked into bed.
No, that's my no.
So
Mac Jones didn't even attempt to make that tackle, knowing full well if he didn't make that tackle, the game is over. That is a loser's mentality.
Yeah, no, like Mac Jones, like any other.
He curled up and balled when the big man came over him.
I understand protecting yourself as a quarterback.
I might also curl up in a ball when Chandler Jones is running at me, but
I'd at least try to knock him over.
But
or
here's
trip
the
him.
difference, though. Here's the difference. It's like I understand Mac Jones is the QB of that franchise, and I understand that you're probably.
I don't agree.
Well, I'm saying, currently he's the QB of that franchise.
Sure. Yeah.
Currently he's that. That's who he is. Like, but at the point where. I understand, like, maybe during a game, right? During, like, the middle of a game, you take a sack versus, like, try and do something crazy and getting yourself hurt. Or, like, if you throw an interception, go down and let someone else tackle him instead of you tackling him so you don't, like, break your hand or your shoulder or whatever. But like Nider was saying, that is literally the play of the game right there.
Could be your playoffs.
Like,
They're in
like,
tight wild card race.
Yeah,
Like,
you
if-
need every win.
Like, if you don't make that tackle, you lose the game, and you just fell backwards. You went down. You went down like a normal person would go down. Like, dude, you're a professional
You're getting
football
paid
player.
millions of dollars to
You
tackle
have
that
to
man
at
right
least
there.
try. Even
Yeah.
if you fail, at least they could be like, well, at least Mac Jones like tried to tackle him, and Chandler Jones just a beast, stiff arm.
No, and the thing is too, even if he tried and didn't do it, like we wouldn't be complaining. It's hard for a dude Mac Jones size to tackle him. Like I look at the Ben play, I get he's running like halfway down the field, so it's probably a little more complex. But I don't think anyone expected Ben to actually make that tackle back in the playoffs like 12, 20, 15 years ago. But the point is like the game is gonna lose if you don't stop him.
It's similar to like a kicker making a tackle, right? Like they're there as the last resort. Like they shouldn't have to make the tackle, but like if they need to make the tackle, they need to make the tackle. He needed to make the tackle and fell down.
I honestly don't know if Mac Jones realized like he had the ball, or it was like such a split-second thing. He was like, "Oh shit!"
I mean,
that he had to have known, like because if the lateral was
Oh
coming
shit!
his
The
way,
ball's coming back towards me. On what possible Earth plane would that happen?
No, and that's the only thing I imagine. I imagine Mac Jones could have like handed the ball off, started turning around, and
Mac Jones was walking to the sideline, getting ready for
he
the
turns,
coin toss.
he turns
for
around.
overtime.
He turns around and he sees the Jacoby Myers throwing him the ball back.
yeah, but listen. In my opinion, though, you should still have more awareness at that point. Like you're a professional quarterback on the field, like you should have more awareness at that point. But it's still Jacoby Myers' fault. But beyond that, Raiders win an incredible game. Great performance by Devontae Adams as always, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Let's move on to the favorite team's results, which
So mad.
I am not pleased about this week's team results for me, but George and Nider are enjoying themselves currently. So let's start with them.
I guess I'll give it a start because I was present at the Browns game versus the Ravens.
I wanted him to waste his money so bad.
13-3 win, in division win. I mean, we'll preface with good job, Browns, but we'll preface it. We didn't play Lamar. Lamar plays. Obviously, that game looks very different. We still could have come out with the win. We look good.
I mean, the Ravens' offense looked very bad. So.
Yeah, but our defense has been playing great lately. Anyways, that's not important.
You lost to the Bengals a week ago.
And our defense played really well in a large portion of that game. Our offenses looked terrible. We did not get blown out.
Didn't you lose 23-10?
I don't remember.
It's like a 2-score game.
That's not blown
I
out.
don't know if that's blown out.
I mean, 23.
And also the game, I think they threw a touchdown on real late. We had the ball left in the fourth quarter with a chance to tie. I remember that much. Anyways, that's not important. What is important is that the Browns' playoff hopes are still alive.
Oh my god!
But I do want to. So I was at the game, right? I want to put this out there. Ravens fans, and now I'll admit, cold game. Sucked. Miserable. We sat in the bathroom all during halftime because there was like a little space heater in the corner and there's like 100 people huddled around it. It was miserably cold at this game. But the Ravens fans were absolutely non-existent. I go to a lot of Browns games. I go to Browns games at least 4 or 5 a year probably. This was the second lowest attendance I'd ever seen by an away team, which shocked me from the Ravens. I know it's going to be a little cold, but you live in Baltimore. You're used to the cold.
Yeah, it's also far away.
The only team I saw travel worse than this was the Houston Texans when we played them last year.
Well, that's even farther away.
No, but there's teams we've played far away. The Broncos, when we played them, traveled deep. They had an awesome away fan base. The Ravens fans were
Peyton
non-existent.
played there,
We walked through. That was not when Peyton was there, by the way. They sucked that year.
Fans.
Well, no, I mean, the Broncos are just a good NFL franchise in general.
No, that's my point.
So I'm saying away fans travel, but the Ravens did not. We walked through the entire tailgate, like all the tailgate lots. We were just going around making friends, playing a game of die, moving on, whatever.
I don't blame them.
We walked through every tailgate lot. There was one Ravens tailgate. My brother's D3 college football away games have more away team tailgates than that. So embarrassing performance by the Ravens fans. Embarrassing performance by the Ravens team. Just some quick stats. Deshaun Watson threw for 161 and a touchdown. He did okay. Cold game.
You said 161 and a touchdown?
Yeah.
You call that okay?
He threw like 20 passes.
Okay?
He didn't release 50 balls like half these quarterbacks
$50 million QB? All right, okay.
But you know what happened? Chubb ran for 100 yards. You know what happens when Chubb runs for 100 yards? You win the football game.
He did say that. He did say that last week, people.
He did say that.
When Nick Chubb runs for 100 yards, you win the football game. Myles Garrett had another sack and a half. He's lining up another first-team All-Pro season. Good team performance. The playoff hopes are dim but alive.
Don't you need one of 3 teams to lose out?
No, there's a situation without anyone losing out, but there's a lot of
They need to
stuff that
win.
needs
They need to
happen.
lose like twice.
Chargers, Patriots, or Ravens losing out. Or
And the Browns have to win out. Let's not forget that part.
Our schedule's really easy to end the year. We have these guys last week.
I'm telling that matchup is looking more and more like a storybook fantasy or like playoff implication matchup every day.
So,
God, I hope Washington.
but and then we have Washington, which
I hope
I
Washington.
hope-
after last week
hope
I
you
think
win
it's a
too.
winnable game, and then we have the Saints. So that is a very you could go undefeated schedule.
Oh yeah. I mean the Commanders are tougher than I think you're giving them credit for.
The defense let up 13 points even in a
And it's
terrible
also
performance,
we got to go down to DC.
That's
do.
Yep. So we'll
I mean,
see.
that's-
That's gonna be a good game.
I mean that's a neutral site. At that
That's gonna
at
be a
this
fun
point, so-
podcast
All right.
the week after that.
we're
game,
getting
but
pretty far into the future though. I
Yep.
think we could start talking
It's
a
a
little
good
bit
win,
more about
Brownies.
James's Commanders.
No, I
They
think
didn't-
I think I should be last. I need
Yeah,
to
let
brood.
James go.
All right.
I need to brood. Finish
Oh,
later.
okay. Well, then we could go. We could keep it in the
You can
AFC
sum
North.
this one up quick because this was probably the least viewed football game of the season.
Let me tell you,
I watched that whole game.
I
It was a
watched
good
that
game.
whole game too. That was a great
it was on,
football
it was,
game.
it was on cable television.
It was the first time on grain. Thank God the Ravens and the Browns played on Saturday. I love it when that happens. But overall, I think we improved on things we needed to improve on. Mitch Trubisky, 17 for 22, 179, no interceptions, and a rushing touchdown. You know, if Deshaun Watson's okay, that's pretty okay as well too.
I mean, that was enough to win the football game,
No,
wasn't it?
yeah.
I will call that an okay performance.
And I think just we really distributed in the running back room. Najee almost gets 100 in a tutty. Jalen Warren gets almost 40 in a tutty. Even
Low averages.
we
there,
had
Ryder.
we had jet sweeps working though, and I think that's just indicative. If a Matt Canada jet sweep works on you, you're
I
not
think
going to
that-
win the game.
I think I was gonna say that it's very indicative of the Carolina Panthers
Yeah.
being a subpar football
yeah,
team.
if the Matt Canada jet
I'll
sweep works.
I'll give the Carolina Panthers defense credit.
Oh,
over the last
they-
few weeks they have played really well.
J.C. Horn's playing out of his
J.C.
mind.
Horn and
I will
Brian
say that.
Burns, dude. Brian Burns looks insane.
No, and I'm going to be honest. Sam Darnold was lighting us up a lot more at that beginning than I wanted him to, especially on some outside matchups.
did.
Like I said last week, our
According to
corner.
our podcast standards, Sam Darnold had an okay game.
Yeah, and the big thing too, I said it last week. Our cornerbacks are really bad, and one dude just kept getting burnt. DJ Moore caught 5 for 73 in a tutty, averaging 15 a ball. Like, the dude usually doesn't catch a ball.
Deontay Johnson was incredible.
Well, that's no, like you said though. When Mitch is on the field, he picks 2 people and they get the ball. This week it was Najee and Deontay. Last week it was Muth and Deontay.
Well, the thing is, Deontay is your best offensive player on the field. Even I think he's better than. I think he's a more impactful receiver than Najee as a running back
I would
because
make the argument that Muth is.
I was
going
gonna say I think I would argue
think,
Pat Fryer.
but I think Deontay's more talented than Freiermuth is.
Dude, Fryer
I
was
think-
Kelsey-esque.
I
in a
think-
few years.
I think the reason
currently.
Deontay looks better is because, much like you could see from this last week, where Freiermuth did not get a single target.
Ridiculous, by the way.
Like, Matt Canada doesn't know how to incorporate more than 2 people into an offensive scheme.
I mean, yeah, but I also think the difference is that Trubisky has shown he's more willing to throw to Deontay Johnson, whereas Pickett isn't willing to throw to Deontay Johnson because Deontay Johnson's usually covered by the best corner, and Pickett's scared of that, and Pickett needs to get over that. But
I
think
that's
Pickett's
sort of
looks
what.
better than Mitch.
But that's the thing. I think Pickett looks better. I think Mitch had Mitch. I will give Mitch credit. Last game was the best overall vibe of a game I've had.
Mitch had
Guys,
a
we
good-
might have breaking news.
Mitch had a good game.
It looks like the Pro Bowl just got released.
Oh wait, really?
Oh,
Okay.
We could put that in the breaking news.
that in the
Put a
breaking
pin.
news.
Put a pin. I'll finish it.
I'm
I'll
gonna
wrap
try
this
to
up.
find it.
I'll
Yeah,
wrap
yeah,
this.
find the
I'll wrap
rosters,
this up real quick.
See if we got anyone in it.
Again, like George said, we keep our playoff hopes alive. Especially, we don't have as easy as a schedule. I think we go Raiders, Ravens, Browns, which Lamar's probably going to be back. But like I said last week, I'd rather play Lamar than a backup. George is a similar thing. I think for the Browns and normal NFL teams, it does ring true that you usually don't want to play Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But look at Lamar's record against the Steelers. Look at his average performance. He just doesn't play. The Steelers have him dialed in. There's something about AFC North defense that we can do, and we already had our loss of the year. I think the Steelers are a team it's really hard to beat twice in a single season.
No, it's definitely a hard game.
And
It's one of the
It's AFC North football.
It's a tough rivalry.
No, and that's the thing.
Tough rivalry.
I think if Pickett is back by then, we should be fine. But again, we're not chalking too much into the future here. Staying on this game, I like how we're starting to run the ball, and our offensive line looks pretty consistent. The big thing for me is, though, we have to be able to distribute the ball passing. 17 completions shouldn't just be going to like Sims and Deontay. Muth needs to get the ball. If Zach Gentry's getting more targets than Pat Fryermuth, something is wrong.
Sims is incredible.
Something is wrong.
Don't hit on Steven Sims.
I think Sims reminds me a lot of the way Antonio Brown felt when he first came onto our team. Just not as good, nowhere near as good. I'm not comparing him at all, but I'm saying just like the role he's playing.
No, sure.
And so I'm a pro Sims. Like I like Gunner too. I like Oshevsky. He had a couple catches, I think.
No, he is solid game.
But overall, the Steelers need Deontay to be that guy. And he has good performances like this, still hasn't caught a touchdown. I don't think he is the guy. And that's where I think I can end my Steeler analysis.
All right. Time to go into this game. Now, I'm going to start this off with a quick little. Washington is still in control of their destiny for the playoffs. If they win all 3 of the next 3 games, which I don't think they will, but if they do, they're in the playoffs. If they win 2 of their next 3 games, they're most likely in the playoffs. I give them like a 75% chance to make it at that point. 75 to 80% chance. So we're going to start there. The season's not over, but goddamn, they had to win this game, and they did not play well. So the special teams played great. Their special teams played really well. I was proud of the special teams. Tressway had a great game. I think every punt but one, which was a bad coverage by the punt return team, but every punt he had was like within the 20. So he did a really good job. He even had like 1 or 2 of them within the 5 or within the 10. So I can't be mad at their special teams. Their special teams played really well. They had, I believe, 1 missed field goal, which was a little angering, but I come to expect that from Joey Sly at this point. I'm all for drafting a kicker next year or this offseason, but
don't do it.
No, I want the dude from Auburn, the brother of the Raiders kicker, who actually looks to be really good. But that's what I want. But just quickly on their defense did not look pretty, but they only let up 13 offensive points. And no offense, in an NFL game, if you're letting up 13 offensive points, you should win the game. I can't be mad at the defense. It didn't look great. They let up a 97-yard drive, and then that drive at the very end of the game that gave up a field goal. Those 2 were bad. Aside from that, they played a pretty solid game. Again, nothing pretty. It didn't look great. But they didn't have any. I don't believe they had any sacks. They had a few tackles for loss. John Allen and Darren Payne didn't have a great game, but they did enough to stop the other team from scoring more than 13. Which, if you let a team score 13 offensive points, you should win the game. The reason Washington lost this game was because of their offense. They gave up 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles by Taylor Heineke, 1 that was just grabbed in the end zone for a touchdown by the Giants.
That was a great play.
It was a terrible.
I wouldn't call it Taylor's fault. That was an incredible play.
It was a terrible play by their O-line. Their O-line just let the free rusher go free. So, I mean, we watched that play.
I actually saw a breakdown of that play. It was sick. Actually, how it worked.
But either way, they lost a turnover battle. So
you lose a game.
That's how you lose the game. Their red zone offense was abhorrent again for the third time in 4 weeks, or honestly the 4th time in 4 weeks. However long you want to go back, their red zone offense has been terrible. They just can't score there. It's truly awful. I mean, by the standards of this podcast, Heineke had a good game, but he really didn't even have that good of a game. I mean, he had 2 fumbles.
He had an okay game.
Yeah, I mean, he had more yards than both of the QBs that you guys had, but it didn't matter because again, he had 2 fumbles. Didn't matter.
Jahan Dotson had Nick Chubb. You guys might have won.
No, we wouldn't have, because Scott Turner's dumb. Dude, Brian Robinson was averaging 7 yards a carry. On 12 carries, he had 89 yards.
Did he have a long one, though?
I mean, he had 19.
Oh, that's not a long one, really. That was a
No.
good game run by Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had 19-yard run. That was his longest run. The dude ran really well.
7 yards average.
But this is my issue, right? This is my issue with the Washington offense as a whole. Because I'm not going to blame their receivers or their running backs. Jahan Dotson and Jahan Dotson had an incredible game.
Man, had a good game.
He looks like a first-round draft pick. Terry McLaurin had a good game. Like I said, Robinson had a great game. Looks the part. The issue with this team is that they don't actually have an identity. They are built to be a power run team that works off of play action, but somehow their offensive coordinator decides never to call play action or fucking go through the run. All he wants to do is go into empty, throw to their receivers, which we can't do because our O-line is too bad where they can't block 5-on-4, and it's fucking ridiculous. But of course, we keep doing it every single game. This team doesn't have an identity, or at least they don't have one that's a true identity. They believe that they're a passing offense when they're really not. Rivera thinks they're a running offense, but apparently they don't call plays like that. When you have a running back go for 89 yards, averaging 7 yards a carry, over 7 yards a carry, what are you doing, Scott? What are you doing? The O-line played bad, don't get me wrong. They played a terrible game, but why are you putting them in a position where you know they're going to play bad? This isn't a new thing. They've been bad at pass protection for all year. Keep an extra tight end in there. Keep a running back to block. Don't force Taylor to become this elite QB that we all know he's not. It's a complete offensive failure from the organizational level of drafting and signing players down to the QB, down to the O-line, and then the play caller as well. That's why they lost the game. I'm honestly, at this point, they're going to get crushed by the 49ers probably. If they somehow keep that game close, I'll be impressed.
Brock Purdy. Bernard.
But that's my take on them. They need to figure out their offensive identity. Scott Terry needs to figure out what team he has around him and call plays accordingly. And I don't know if they win with Taylor Heineke or not, but let me tell you, if Taylor Heineke has a bad half, he's probably getting subbed out.
Really?
Rivera said they're going to play him, but he has basically hinted at the fact that if this dude does not have a good game, he is going out. And I think it could be halftime. It could be if Taylor Heineke has a terrible quarter, he could be out after the first quarter. I honestly believe that if Heineke, because at the beginning of the second half of this game, Heineke had a really nice drive. I believe it was a touchdown or it was a field goal. It was either a touchdown or a field goal. But he had a really nice drive, moved the offense. If Heineke came out and stalled, I believe they would have put Wentz in there. And I don't even know if that's the right decision. I personally don't think it is the right decision, but that's just where we're at with the offense. They need to score more points, and they can't score more points. Their defense is playing super well, and their offense can't hold up to anything. So, yeah, terrible performance, disappointing performance. That was a very important game, but they still have a chance to do well later.
Yeah, they're sitting in the playoffs right now.
They're in the seventh seed.
James, you're in a much better position than we are, and we seem to be more optimistic about our playoff chance. You got to have a little faith in your organization, James.
You're asking me to have faith in the Washington organization.
I believe in the Cleveland Browns. Anyways, let's move on here because we're taking way too long, and we got to talk about our neighborhood team real quick.
Wait, we can't be as loud as we can, but we can give it a little.
We'll give it a little.
Duval.
I mean, I yelled in the last time. We might need to tone that down.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I just don't want to be too loud. We don't want to wake. We don't want to wake the neighborhood
real quick,
up.
I got the stats right here. Duval in a 40-34 overtime thriller against Dallas wins. Trevor Lawrence threw for 318 and 4 touchdowns. By this podcast standards, that's a great game.
A Hall of Fame level game.
Zay Jones, 6 catches for 109 and 3 tutties. Three tutties.
You better have picked Zay Jones up when I told you to.
Zay Jones won me a playoff game this last week in fantasy.
You better have picked him up.
So Duval. Sadly, I didn't get to watch the game live. They won in overtime on a pick 6. They beat a very good Cowboys team, and they are coming for the Tennessee Titans.
They're a singular game back. They're one game
Tennessee
back.
is imploding, and Duval is catching fire.
Tennessee, I think, has one of their starting linemen playing this week, maybe. Like their team is riddled with injuries. I don't
want to hear this injury excuse.
They hit the IR cap. They actually can't bring anyone off IR anymore.
You can't put anyone on if you hit the cap.
Well, no, you can't. No, you can only bring like 8 people off IR after you put them on. You can put as many people as you want on. You can only bring 8 off. You can only bring
8 off. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
have too many
because most people don't have to deal with that issue.
I don't want to hear the injury excuse. If you think you have a good coach in Mike Vrabel, you think you have a talented young court, you don't. You're going to miss the playoffs. That's what I have to say about this.
We have some breaking news.
All right, we'll
All
get
right.
into our current news section of the podcast. We're
We
going
have,
to
we
start.
have the Pro Bowl, right?
We're gonna start. Yeah, the Pro Bowl got released
All right.
while we were recording this podcast,
All
about
right.
10 minutes
So
ago.
George is going to be giving us the names here of our thing, and me and James will just be reacting to
Yeah.
what we
And
do.
I think
believe
we'll,
in
I
our
think we'll,
voice.
I think we'll go through
wanna
offense and
hear some
defense
skill.
for both sides, and then I think we'll see if we got any Pro Bowl snubs,
All right.
specifically maybe from our teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably from our teams, but
We're gonna start the AFC offense.
okay.
Starter Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
Okay.
Backups Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. No
think
surprises
that- I would
there.
say, I think that's
No
pretty-
surprises there.
That makes sense.
Is there any QB there that we might be like?
Those
to
three
think-
are the top three.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're the top three. They probably
Lamar
have-
maybe.
I mean, Lamar's
Yeah,
been hurt
but-
though.
yeah.
Been a little hurt.
Yep.
Those are your top
Yeah, I
three.
think
Those
those
are top three.
That makes sense. I'm with that.
Running backs, starter Nick Chubb, Nicholas Jamal Chubb.
Okay. All right.
Backups Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry.
I'm very surprised
Okay.
Derek is at 3 there.
I don't know if the backups are in any particular order.
I think Josh Jacobs deserves to be first. Personally.
He is leading the league in rushing.
I think he. I'm not saying Nick Chubb's bad, but I think this year he deserves to be the first guy. I know it doesn't count like that, but like I think he deserves to be first.
There's an argument there. As a Nick Chubb enthusiast,
Yeah.
I'll admit there's an argument there. He's leading the league in rushing. It's hard to deny.
I think he's leading the league in rushing. No, Jamal Williams is leading rushing touchdowns, but
Yeah,
I think
but
he's.
that's kind of inflated
yeah,
stat.
yeah, but I think he. But again, I think he's been the best running back in the AFC this.
I think those are probably your three best AFC running backs, right?
I think so. I'm trying.
Yeah, Najee has had.
Najee's not there.
He's not. He's
Mixon,
not had the year.
Mixon's had an off year. I mean,
That's what I'm saying,
Brees
like,
Hall
I'm trying-
might have made it.
Brees-
earlier.
Yeah,
I'm-
he's been injured way
but-
too long.
Yeah.
But he had a big he had a
He
big
looked
year.
like he was
yeah.
making it.
Um,
I don't.
That seems right, man.
I mean, Eckler, but Eckler hasn't really had a great year.
Yeah, Eckler could be a snub there. The dude's
Yeah.
He's
That's-
the number one player in
that-
fantasy.
that
but
football.
he's
feels
had
like
a
a
better
snub.
he's had a better receiving year though than he's had a rushing year. Let's
That's-
be real.
but
But he
that's
still
the
plays
running
running.
back.
That does feel like
you
a
know
snub.
What? Or Ramondre Stevenson might be a snub.
Not over those.
Not
three,
over
though.
those three.
I mean, he
but
just had a 172-yard game.
the thing is, though, is I guess who are you taking off that list for?
That's the big issue.
Yeah, I think they got it right. I
That's
can't
the
really,
thing.
I think they
It's-
got it right.
I think if they put anybody else there,
Eckler.
yeah.
Eckler's a close
Um,
fourth. He's close.
Fullback Pat Ricard from Baltimore, only fullback.
Yeah.
That he's real good.
Yeah, fine.
Dude, he had a play where
Or DJ Watt.
DJ Watt.
this past week he had a pancake on Greedy Williams where I was like, ouch.
The Steelers actually use DJ though. Yeah, they use him quite a bit. They bring him in for like goal line stands. They bring
Isn't
him,
it Derek Watt?
Yeah, but they're
call
all
him-
J's.
Yeah, they call him.
Okay.
I mean, he does go by Derek,
But
and
I
I
think
call,
that
I
makes
call him
sense.
DJ.
But I'm with the fullback.
No,
yeah.
Pat Ricard seems right. All right, receiver.
Ooh, okay.
Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs starters, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase backups. I have a gripe with the Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase has had.
The other three have been animals, right?
Yeah, they've been really good this year. I can't deny.
I think Jalen Waddle's a snub there.
I don't think he's had a better year.
I think
than
Jalen
Chase,
Waddle. I think Jalen Waddle's more receiving yards than Chase.
though. I think they're.
I think Chase is more explosive though.
But the issue is that like
This isn't
Jalen
the most
Waddle,
explosive.
I
This is
don't
having
think
the
is
better
But
way-
you
year.
gotta remember, this is also not just like anybody voting. This is the fans voting.
Yeah.
It's not all fan vote.
It's not.
Fan vote counts towards part
Yeah.
of it.
Oh,
But I think the thing with Jalen Waddle is like I think Chase has been hurt for some games, which
A
honestly
nice,
should
a
probably-
nice chunk of games.
But like the fact that they have close to the same receiving yards in that.
I don't think it's close, dude. I think Waddle's like has. We're gonna have to look this up.
all right.
We look this
I'll
up.
do Jamar. You do Waddle.
Just
Yeah.
receiving yards this year.
Yeah, but is there anyone else we can think of that would be close to the Jalen Waddle? So you're looking up Chase, right?
If Deontay like caught touchdowns, he might have a chance.
No, Deontay's not close.
That's my point. He doesn't. catch
So
the
Chase is
touchdown.
at 881. What's it Waddle at?
Waddle is at. Oh, he's way ahead.
1,117.
1,117. Yeah, actually.
Waddle's having a great year,
I
man.
would say actually, yeah.
He
maybe
gets a
you're
little
right.
overshadowed because Tyreek Hill's leading the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, maybe they both should have been on there. Wow, I didn't really.
I think
didn't
it's
realize
very
he was
hard to
doing
put
that
two.
No,
well.
Waddle's balling. Waddle's the most glaring snub to me.
I think
Amari Cooper was probably not far out of it. He's been playing really good this year for the
I
Browns.
sense a stub inbound.
No, but I feel like
I already see the
I
Steelers.
feel like Amari
snub
Cooper
inbound.
has had really good games and really bad games, so I think it kind of evens out. Like he hasn't been.
He has had a couple
consistent,
bad. Yeah, he's not in that top four probably.
But I mean, the Chargers receivers have been hurt. No one on the Broncos is good. I mean, yeah, I think that's probably right, except for the Waddle thing, like you were saying. That's probably about right.
Tight ends.
This is what Steelers snub. No way Fryermuth makes this list.
No, because there's only two.
That's my
Oh,
point.
there's only two. Ooh.
And it's Travis Kelce starting and Mark Andrews backing up, and that feels right.
Let me tell you.
I don't know, man.
Let me tell you.
Can we get some stats on?
I'm going to take
Andrews
Pat
versus
Freiermuth
Pat Freiermuth
any day over Mark Andrews.
Can we get some stats on that?
Let me first tell you,
that's
Pat
cool.
Freiermuth is the #1 ranked blocking tight end in the league.
That's important.
That
To Pro Bowl voters, how important?
not important, but like
Look up the Freiermuth stats because
What's Mark Andrews at?
Andrews this year is he has 702 yards on 61 receptions and 5 touchdowns.
Let's see. What's Muth at?
All right.
Go to the bottom. If he's going to the bottom, I would have done it.
so he's got
In 2022. Just look 2022.
53 for 630
So
And
and
two
two
touch-
tutties.
so Andrews has him by
Andrew-
100 yards and
3
and 3
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Yeah, but let's also talk about who Andrews has throwing him the ball.
Brett Hundley.
Tyler Huntley, but
Lamar.
Hundley, yeah, my bad. Brett Hundley was the
No,
UCLA quarterback.
You
back
got to
in the day.
remember, we're
Yeah.
talking about the other thing too. We're talking about like Mark Andrews gets targets every week.
And
right?
that's why he's in the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl.
No, but that's my point.
I mean, let's be
Freiermuth does things that aren't just targeting.
Yeah, but that offense kind of runs through Mark Andrews. Like Mark Andrews is like their only receiver.
Can we get some stats on Njoku real quick?
But Njoku's been hurt, hasn't he?
Not really. I think he missed 1 game, maybe 2.
Freiermuth is snub.
I feel like he missed like 2 or 3, dude.
If George, if you could get Mark Andrews or Pat Freiermuth on your team right now
Njoku.
with a 4-year contract,
Mark
I mean,
Andrews.
Really?
He is. I mean, he has
assuming like
550.
Freiermuth is cheaper.
Njoku has 551 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, so he's closer
So
to Muth.
he's
yeah.
close, but he missed games. It's right. I think Kelsey,
It's right.
Kelsey's
It's
earned
right.
it.
Muth is like
I mean, Kelsey's an animal.
Kelsey's-
Muth is like
Kelsey's
the
insane.
4th ranked tight end PFF in the league. He's the #1 ranked blocking tight end. Like
No,
Andrews is probably
I
PFF
agree.
ranked ahead of him.
No, well, it's just because we're in this era of receivers playing tight end. If
But-
we're talking,
but Andrews is a good blocker,
Mark
too,
Andrews is a receiver.
Mark Andrews is a good blocker
he's a big
too.
boy.
No, but they play him like a receiver. George
they-
Kittle, they play him like a receiver.
I don't know. Mark
Darren
Andrews is
Waller,
on
they
a
play him
run
like
first
receiver.
team.
George Kittle also is really good at blocking too.
George Kittle's the best blocking tight end. in the
Yeah,
league.
he might. Yeah.
Yes,
he is.
George
Pat
Kittle's the
Freiermuth.
best blocking
No,
tight end.
I mean,
Ranked. I mean, we're looking at just
but
performance
Kittle-
stats wise.
Yeah, but Kittle's been out for most of this year. But like, if we're just talking like in general talent, like
I mean,
Kittle's the best
Freiermuth was
blocking
also
tight
the
end.
#1 blocking tight end his rookie year last year.
I might need to see the stats on this. I don't think it's important.
That's
Anyway,
the stat. That's the stat I've been using. I don't know if he's the #1 blocking this
Oh
year.
my god.
He's #1 blocking his rookie year though.
I'm telling you what, George Kittle's an animal.
George Kittle is insane.
Anyway, let's move on. Offensive line, you guys don't know nothing about this.
No,
I might know
Um,
some of them.
Well, you guys might know these guys. Laramie Tunsil and Teron Armstead starting. Orlando Brown is a backup. Those are 3 solid dudes. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what.
Well, Tunsil's on the Texans now, right?
Texans. My bad. Teron Armstead's on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Those are 3 solid men. Yeah, I don't got much to say there. Surprised Orlando Brown might not be a starter there over
Yeah.
Teron Armstead, but
Yeah. I'm surprised he's not a starter over Tunsil, to be honest, because Tunsil's just on a bad team.
guards, Joel Bitonio, Quentin Nelson, Joe Thuney, with Bitonio Nelson starting. I'm surprised. I think Nelson got a little bit of a popularity vote there.
Yeah, I was
He's
gonna
been having
say,
a down year.
He's had a bad
especially
year.
as a starter.
Yeah, he's had a bad year. He hasn't been good by his standards.
Out of Kansas City, Trey Smith has been having a great year at guard. Surprised we're not seeing him there. Maybe even over his teammate Thuney. Thuney's missed a couple games.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other big prominent guards.
I don't know. Mine.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of players. I mean, like I said, I know Nelson hasn't had a great year.
I don't even know
And
the Steelers.
center,
line.
starting Creed Humphrey, backup Mitch Morse. Dude, Creed Humphrey's an animal.
Who's he a center for?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
He's out
yeah.
of Oklahoma.
Okay,
Second-year
yeah.
guy out of Oklahoma. Creed Humphrey. Dude, he was a beast in college. And everyone, I don't know why his draft stock plummeted. The Chiefs got him real late. And everyone's like, Creed Humphrey's an animal. And then he came to the NFL last year and he was an animal. Now he's going to be first team All-Pro
centers
this
just
year.
generally they fall in the draft because a lot of people don't really.
But, I mean, he
go
fell
out.
6th round.
He fell a 6th. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
guy that Washington drafted a few years ago. Really, when they drafted him, he should have been drafted higher, and he was drafted in the 5th round. So
Yeah.
centers just fall unless you're
All
like
right.
a first round guy, like the guy the Ravens drafted. You just fall.
I know we're going back, but this is the blocking ratings this year. It goes Kelsey, Njoku, Freiermuth, and then I don't even see Mark Andrews. We're still scrolling. There he is.
I don't know if I buy it. PFF kid.
Oh my god.
Profane words, my butt.
I had to
All right,
scroll.
keep-
I had to
keep-
do
just
2
keep
full
going,
finger
keep going.
scrolls
We're
to find
going
Mark
to
Andrews.
defense.
Defense. Defensive end. Starters. Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, backup Trey Hendrickson.
Wait.
Your boys at outside.
Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
this isn't the position TJ plays technically.
Miles
right?
and Max Crosby both been animals this year.
Yeah, I was saying they sound right.
Chandler Jones started slow, but if they only looked at the last 3 weeks, Chandler Jones is the best defender in the league. I'm trying to think of any big. Matt Judon out of New England.
Yeah, actually, wait.
Oh
yeah.
no, they have him at outside
He's
linebacker
an outside.
too.
Okay, I was gonna say
They
That's
got
what I'm
Matt
saying.
Judon's
I don't
leading
even-
in sacks.
I get
Yeah.
very confused with who's actually the end.
What about how's Bradley Chubb been this year? Has he been?
He turned it up later on, but hasn't been great in the beginning.
Okay.
I don't have any gripes
I mean,
here.
that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can. If there's
Yeah.
no one I can think of off the top of my head that got snubbed, then I think.
That's pretty.
Interior D-line, Chris Jones, Quinnen Williams starting, Jeffrey Simmons backup. Those are 3 animals on that list.
No, yeah.
Chris Jones is having the best defensive tackle year I could remember in a long time.
He's having a great year.
Quinnen Williams
But
is
they
an
play,
animal in
but
New York.
to be fair, they play Chris Jones at end too. Like he switches. Like I mean, I know he's.
No, he plays like he switches between he plays a lot of 3 technique is what it's called. So you're not like lined up over the center, but you'll be like an outside shade guard. Sometimes you get matched up with a tackle.
Yeah, but I've seen him. I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Your sack numbers are going to increase when you're starting to get lined up over the tackle.
But I mean, he's like at the top of the league in sacks.
No, he's really good.
and he
No,
lines up inside.
No, yeah, I'm with it. I'm just saying. I think a guy that. I mean, he doesn't have the numbers, but Christian Wilkins out of Miami has had a great year.
Oh, dude, that might be a snub.
He doesn't have good sack numbers. He only has like 3 sacks, but like.
Oh, but he's been playing awesome.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, I know he has been playing
But
insane.
I mean,
but
who
it's like-
do you put him in over Chris Jones, Quinnen Williams, and Jeffrey Simmons?
yeah, it's tough.
I think that's the thing with the Pro Bowl. Some of these guys, there's just more than 3 dudes at the position.
Yeah, it's tough.
Those 3
hard.
dudes are animals.
But yeah, I'm saying he might be the only one I can think of that's been really good.
Outside backers, Matt Judon and Khalil Mack starting, T.J. Watt
There.
backing up.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm not surprised with him backing up
Khalil
either.
Mack's had a good year. He's been like the only
I'm gonna
Chargers
say
defender not to be
TJ Watt coming in on backup is gonna be nasty. I gotta say, imagine having
I'm pretty
TJ
sure
Watt
they're playing flag.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's not a
yeah,
real
yeah,
football
yeah.
game.
I'm
I don't even want my boys
surprised.
to play.
I'm
Never
surprised
mind.
to see TJ on the list.
I do not know. That's popularity.
That's popularity.
that's-
he doesn't even have good numbers in the
No,
games he's been playing.
the thing is, he's getting again. You double cover TJ, and if you look at everybody else's performance since TJ has come back, Cam Hayward's getting 2 sacks a game. Highsmith's getting a sack. a game.
I've heard that argument from another Steelers fan. Wow, maybe it does carry some validity.
Everyone,
I'm surprised that he's on this
every
list
other-
of 3.
Ogunjobi's starting to even get tackles for losses and sacks now.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think who I put over him though as like an outside linebacker.
No,
this
the
year.
thing is, as a pure athlete, everyone knows TJ Watt is one of the most dominant athletes. He's going to be in the Pro Bowl every year. It's just he's been hurt, and I agree with the backup because of that.
But anyway, let's keep going.
Inside backers, Roquan Smith and C.J. Mosley. Roquan starting. First of all, I think it's weird they only have 2 backers on that
Yeah,
one.
that doesn't make sense.
I wish they had 3 because I have a huge snub, and it's Logan Wilson out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, actually,
Dude is playing out of his mind.
That's
And I
Cincinnati
hate
defense,
the Cincinnati Bengals.
That Cincinnati defense outside of like Trey Hendrickson does not get any love, and they are really good. That
Logan
defense
Wilson
is
out of
insane.
Cincinnati's playing out of his mind, and I mean I don't know much about what C.J. Mosley's doing this year.
I mean, the Jets have one of the best defenses in the league. He's having a good year. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's anything crazy, but it's good.
I think Logan Wilson's a snub there.
I would agree. I'd say it's a snub.
Cornerbacks starting Sauce Gardner and Pat Surtain.
That
Backup
I agree.
Marlon Humphrey and Xavier Howard.
I agree with Pat Surtain and Sauce Gardner.
Sauce
Starting.
Gardner is the best corner in the league
I think Pat Surtain's better than him.
right now.
PS2 is playing great. Sauce is playing great.
I'm really interested to see how long they can
I
keep
think
this
Denzel
up.
Ward
If there's
might
any
be a
consistency, I want to see some consistency to this performance from Sauce.
Denzel Ward's last couple weeks has picked it up, but he had a slow start to the year with some injuries.
If Sauce could have like 75% of this year next year, once people figure out how to play him a little bit,
Yeah.
I think he'll be an all-star. It'll be a Pro Bowl every year.
He might be an all-pro player this year.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
I think Pat Surtain's the best corner in the league.
Marlon Humphrey, Xavier Howard, both 2 good
Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore out of Indianapolis might have
That
been
does
a
feel
snub
like a
there.
name. That's a big name.
He's
that
been
I've not
having
heard in a while.
some plays this year
Yeah,
for
but,
real.
I mean, Terry made him look really bad on national television. You
I'm pretty sure Stephon Gilmore's like won 2 different games with like a game-winning
I mean,
interception.
probably. No, Stephon Gilmore probably should be on there, but it's also, you got to remember, like, they're not going to, a lot of times you don't pick a guy from a team that's doing bad, and the Colts are kind of in a negative play right now.
If you didn't just see, Niter had a sigh of relief seeing Minka Fitzpatrick as the sole free safety
There's only
on
one?
this list.
There's
Yeah.
only one on?
And then strong safeties are Derwin James and Jordan Poyer.
I was just
Some
saying,
huge snubs in Justin
I would
Simmons,
say Justin Simmons is definitely a huge one.
Jesse Bates,
Jesse Bates, yep. Reed, right? Isn't Reed? I'm trying to.
Reed hasn't been playing great for KC.
Yeah, for KC.
There was
Minka's
another one
just
I
a-
had in my head that was a big
Minka
snub.
is just a dog.
Wait, who were the strong safeties?
Derwin James and Jordan Poyer.
I think that one makes sense. I can see
Minka
that.
is just a dog, and
Mm-hmm.
he's farming up a little
I mean,
KZ behind him.
I don't know why they only have one free safety, though, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, it's weird the numbers here.
Yeah, but I mean, like I
There's a
said,
couple
I
big
think
subs
there's some
in
free
Justin
safeties.
Simmons and
that-
Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I don't care about the long snapper. Punter Tommy Townsend, kicker Justin Tucker. We all knew
Hey,
that.
give the long
Give the
snapper
long
some
snapper
credit.
his name at least.
Morgan Cox. Did you guys know that man?
No,
is in the
but he
NFL?
deserves to be
Well,
said.
here's
He's a
the-
Pro Bowler.
Well, who does he play for?
guess.
Jackson. No, that's AFC still, right?
It's
Yeah, it's
AFC.
Jacksonville's
Yeah,
in the
AFC. I'll go
is
AFC.
it
Jags.
the Jets?
It is the Titans.
Oh,
Nice. And who you said Tommy Townsend from the Chiefs?
Now, yes, return specialist Devin Duvernay. I don't care.
All right, who was the kicker?
Wait, it should have been the dude from Marcus Jones from New England.
Yeah,
Is he
wait,
the
yeah,
only one with the
actually-
return this year?
I mean, no, Cordell Patterson.
That's
had
in the
one.
NFC.
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
but
That's
I'm-
NFC.
yeah, no,
Because that's
That should be
his-
Marcus Jones.
Cordero-
Yeah,
Daryl's
that
gonna
should
be-
be Marcus Jones. Wait.
Special teamer. I'm mad at this. I saw this and I immediately got infuriated. I don't know who Justin Hardy is, but Matthew Slater is like a 13-time special teamers Pro Bowler for the New England Patriots, and he's still kicking. And you should put Matthew Slater in your Pro Bowl as a special teamer just because. I don't care if he has to crawl down the field on a punt. Matthew Slater belongs in the Pro Bowl, and I refuse to accept whoever Justin Hardy
Can't
is.
even walk. He deserves to be in the Pro Bowl. I don't know,
Who's
George.
the kicker, George?
Oh, it was Justin Tucker.
Oh,
Who were the
Justin Tucker,
punters?
okay.
Who were the punters?
Tommy
Tommy
Townsend.
Townsend. There was only one.
All right, NFC, because we are taking very
Wesley
long
Hartman.
on this
We
podcast.
are, but like I think this is important. We can go quickly through the other
We will.
stuff.
We can put the MVP talk next week.
We'll do MVP
Yeah,
talk next
yeah,
week.
We can.
We'll hit on a little thingy up right here real quick,
Yeah.
and then we'll get into next week's games. And we'll
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about next games real quick, and then we'll do betting. We can elaborate on
we
betting
can
a
do that
little
next
more.
week too, technically. So
Yeah, we've got time. Let's just
All right.
keep going through the NFC.
Yeah.
NFC Pro Bowl offense. Quarterbacks. Starter Jalen Hurts.
okay.
That's
Backups Geno Smith and Kirk Cousins.
Let's
Oh.
go, baby! I love that so much.
Wow.
Although I do think Jared Goff might be a snub.
Wow.
I think Jared Goff might be a snub.
Can we first of all acknowledge how much better the AFC quarterbacks are?
Oh, insane. I mean, let's be real here. But like, listen, I'm just proud of Geno Smith for getting in. Same for Kirk Cousins, honestly.
No
Tom Brady. I was gonna say I didn't hear a certain.
I mean, he's been bad.
We've been saying that every week.
Like the thing is,
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be in the Pro
No,
Bowl.
I agree. He's
But
not.
he's kind of like Matt Slater. I
love
put
it.
Brady in just because he's Tom Brady.
I mean, no, I think Geno has earned it considering how much he's been slandered the entirety of his career. And I think Kirk Cousins, for all the shit we give him and we call the Vikings frauds, has had a good year in spite of that. So I think they've earned it. I think Jared Goff might be a snub, if anyone, for that position.
that could be a snub right
think
there.
that- because
No
he-
Aaron Rodgers, no Tom Brady.
Well, Aaron Rodgers had a bad year too.
Wow. I just
mean-
gotta say wow. No Justin Fields.
Justin Fields kind of got it going toward the middle and end of the year. Though.
Yeah,
They
you're
kinda-
also
they-
Justin Fields is also 3-11.
Yeah, that's a good
that-
point. These
yeah.
are all playoff hopeful teams.
Well, yeah, the Seattle might not make it, but they're close. But
They're right there. Yeah, they're the team that might push you out.
I think the Lions have more of a chance than
The
Seattle.
Lions are hot. I love the Lions. You guys know that.
Yeah, I was trying to find a snub, but I'm looking at the NFC, and I think that's about right.
Yeah, that's just substantially worse.
Brock
than
Purdy for the Pro Bowl.
That's why I was like, oh, Brock Purdy.
No,
I
I
was
mean,
like-
they've been the most consistent. I mean, they've just been solid all year. You can't hate on them. you know?
Running backs. Starter Saquon Barkley.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
No Dalvin Cook.
he's had an off year.
Something I am thrilled to see. Tony Pollard.
He's
Over
earned
Zeke.
it. Tony
Over
Pollard
Over
has earned
Zeke
it.
and over a lot of other people.
that's-
Wow.
Tony Pollard has
Tony
earned it.
Pollard is here, guys.
Tony Pollard has earned
Jerry
it.
Jones, get your checkbook out. You have 2 Pro Bowl running backs on your roster. And then Miles Sanders.
Okay,
Yeah,
Miles Sanders
no.
earned it this
It's
year.
probably the best rushing team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, Trying to think who else might have
Keep that
gotten
list
snubbed.
up. Who,
That's what I'm
do we have
looking
any
here.
snubs in here?
I'm looking at
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, no,
that. But
actually-
he was he even in here?
McCaffrey had a bad start of the year.
Yeah.
Then he got hot
Yeah.
with the other team. I mean, K9, Kenneth Walker.
Dalvin.
Good.
Telling you, it's Dalvin.
Dalvin's the
the
snub.
Dalvin might be the snub.
Dalvin's the snub.
I love seeing Tony Pollard in there, man.
No,
I'm
he's
telling
earned
you
it.
though,
He's
I
earned
think
it.
performance-wise,
it, but he's
Pollard has
earned it.
probably had a better season. But it like in
Dalvin.
terms of like name value, I feel like
I-
Dalvin Cook should be in
Is
there
this
over
the
Tony
first
Pollard.
ever backup running back in the Pro Bowl?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he's basically the starter at this point.
I think Zeke's snap
All
share is
right,
still
I gotta.
slightly higher.
I know Terry
Nope,
McLaurin's
nope.
about to get snubbed, so I'm just gonna get this up now.
Wide receivers. Starters, Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown. Backups, CeeDee Lamb and Terry McLaurin.
baby, let's go! My boy made
He had it cut off right at the bottom of it.
I didn't want James to see it.
My boy made it.
He did it.
Terry McLaurin is a Pro Bowler.
He should be.
I was about to make a case.
He should be.
I can put the case away.
Who are the snubs, though? Cooper
Wait,
Kupp
so
got hurt.
sorry, what were the names again? I was kind of
Justin
focused.
Jefferson, A.J.
Metcalf.
Brown,
Okay, that makes
DK
sense.
CeeDee
Metcalf.
Lamb, Terry McLaurin. I think Tyler Lockett's had a better year than DK Metcalf.
Tyler Lockett might have. I mean, you can argue that Devonta Smith.
Smitty's had a good year.
CeeDee's there.
49ers, no Debo.
Debo's been hurt, or Debo got hurt.
Just got hurt.
Oh, fucking Hopkins doesn't make it.
He was
He
on
doesn't
drugs.
deserve
He was
to.
on drugs.
He doesn't deserve to. I agree, but
A lot of big names.
That's a big
Cooper
name
Kupp
not
got
there.
hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm
there's
saying.
a lot of big names not in here.
Debo
No
hurt.
Debo. Just got hurt, though.
Yeah, that's my point, but he's not
Let
there.
me see.
No.
You said
No,
Lockett.
no
I'm,
Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin.
I'm just looking to see if any of the guys you've named have more receiving yards than Terry, and they don't so far. Lockett and Devonta Smith don't have more receiving yards than Terry. So
I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think Terry earned it.
Terry has played
Michael Thomas
incredible.
still-
Michael Thomas
He's
hasn't played.
not
hasn't
really
played.
played
That's
at
what I
all.
say. Is he still in the Saints? I don't even.
Yeah.
I haven't heard his name in a
think
very long
I think
time.
that's about right, though. I think they got
So,
it right.
The Washington Commanders have a Pro Bowl wide receiver.
You know, let me.
So proud.
I'm
of my
looking
boy.
at one name, and I'm thinking here. I think we might have one more. And yet he's young. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh,
That's a big one.
snub!
I looked at the Lions and I'm like, Amon-Ra's there.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Amon-Ra snubbed.
But he has less yards than Terry too.
no,
Like
I'm not
50.
surprised. I was gonna say he probably doesn't have the stats.
He's been hurt a few games. So
He's,
that's probably
he's
why.
on the Lions. Don't get me wrong. You're not gonna have the best stats in the league on the Lions. I feel.
Tight ends. Starting George Kittle, backup T.J. Hawkinson. Those don't feel the strongest, but let's look at these. This
I mean,
team
so
list here.
Falcons.
Stay out of the NFC South. No one deserves a Pro Bowl there.
I mean,
I
there's
mean, Cole Kmet's been good for the Bears, but I don't
not
think
Kyle
he's
Pitts
too.
is hurt. That's why he's not there.
Kittle. Seattle's
Oh,
gonna have a good
Ertz
tight end.
is-
Ertz was
No,
hurt.
Ertz.
Ertz got hurt.
Ertz got hurt.
Ertz got hurt for the year. I mean, Higbee hasn't been great.
No.
Has
Schultz was hurt,
has
but he's
Schultz-
turned up. Goddard got hurt,
Goddard got
but
hurt.
Goddard was turned on.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of. I think it's just
Yeah.
more like
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
healthy
Yeah.
and they were good. I think that makes
All right.
sense.
Next position.
Offensive tackle. Trent Williams, Lane Johnson starting, Tristan Wirfs backing up.
Okay.
I have a problem with Tristan Wirfs.
Has he been hurt?
No, he's been shitty.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Tom Brady's been getting murdered. I've seen this.
I feel like
this
they
is
should-
anecdotal. I don't know stats on this. I've seen some plays where Tristan Wirfs got burnt, especially by Micah Parsons in that
I
game.
feel like there should be an Eagles tackle.
Well, Lane Johnson's an
Or
Eagles
Lane
tackle,
Johnson,
but
sorry, my
my
bad.
argument is the other Eagles
Yeah,
tackle.
Dillard, right?
No, Jordan Mailata.
Or my lot. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I get their lineman confused.
I
Yeah,
think Jordan Mailata is a Pro Bowl snub there.
I would.
He's playing left tackle for the best run team
Yeah.
and the best team really in the league right now.
I would agree. I mean, I think the Eagles O line honestly could all be on this list. To
Not
be-
that he's a snub, but a name I think we're going to see in here one day is Tyler Smith.
my
The Cowboys rookie left tackle has put together a great season. He's played great.
I haven't paid attention to him.
Oh, Andrew Thomas from New York.
Oh,
That's a snub right
has
there.
Thomas been hurt though?
No, dude's been playing great.
Yeah, I would say Evan Neal's been hurt. Andrew Thomas. No, their guards have been better though. I think, but I don't know. They've had a decent year on the line. But
Nider is showing me a victory royale.
Just letting you know it's back.
oh my god.
Oh, I got a victory royale literally yesterday. You want to see?
Just
All right,
keep going.
Keep on
No.
contact. Keep on
That's with
contact.
the dog.
Oh my God! Wait, we're all back. Is Fortnite back?
I have not played Fortnite again.
Offensive guards.
Esports.
Offensive guards starting Zach Martin and Landon Dickerson. Backup Chris Lindstrom from the Atlanta Falcons.
Lindstrom's good. Lindstrom's very good.
I'm surprised to see Landon there. He's playing Best run team in the league.
I hate it so much.
I don't think he's played phenomenal this year from what I've seen, though. He's good. He's good.
I said you're more the offensive line guru. I know some of the
Yeah.
names. but
I'm just thinking through some other offensive linemen that might be in there at guard.
all I'm saying is
Yeah,
if
I'm just saying
Washington
we
got
should-
snubbed on defense in 2 different.
I think
positions,
we
I'd be
keep
very
pushing.
angry.
I think we keep
yeah, we
pushing.
keep pushing. Center starting Jason Kelsey. That was a lock.
I think the Lions center should have also probably been on there as a backup, but I forget.
He
his name.
is Frank Ragnow.
Oh,
There
we
you go.
There
Boom.
we go. I was saying Frank
Good pick, James.
Frank Ragnow's a dog.
I don't know names. But
I
I know
love Frank Ragnow.
Frank Ragnow's insane.
Defense. Let's go.
Okay.
Starting ends: Nick Bosa, Brian Burns. Backup: Demarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that a lot.
Sweat's had
actually.
a good year for Washington, but he hasn't earned a Pro Bowl.
That's fine.
He doesn't have the sack numbers.
Interior D line. Ready, James?
It better be one of them.
Starting Aaron Donald. Also starting Jonathan Allen.
Oh, my boy.
And backing up Dexter Lawrence.
I can, Jonathan
Those
Allen,
are
in my
names I know.
opinion, is better than Payne. Payne's having a better year, in my opinion, than Allen, like sack-wise, but like in terms of just like overall impact, Allen's more double teamed than Allen has
I
more
would
tackles
like
for loss.
nothing more than to have Payne in Cleveland next year.
You may have Payne in Cleveland next year, but I mean, has Aaron Donald had a good year?
I think a snub there is
Darren Payne's
is
a snub.
Hargrave out of Philadelphia. That's having a great year.
Hargrave's
Yeah,
one.
that's
I'm trying to think. Who else
Isn't there a D tackle another D tackle on the Rams that was good?
Maybe
I don't know.
Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald. That was
Is Grady Jarrett's an end, right? He's an end.
yeah. I don't know if he's playing that good this year. Aaron Donald was a pity vote, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really think Don. I mean,
If Donald's getting in, Tom Brady should
yeah,
be in.
that's my point. Like, he hasn't really had a great year. He's probably had an okay year, but
Yeah, but I feel like Donald's at least won a couple of games and been in it. I feel like.
I mean,
Probably.
the Rams have been bad.
Rams are bad. Yeah.
But I think Payne's a snub, but Dexter Lawrence has played great. Honestly, the other D tackle for the Giants,
Yeah.
Williams, he was a snub.
yeah, he's a snub. I actually thought about that. He's good.
I mean, I guess though for you when on Washington and Giants, you have between the two teams 4 great interior D linemen. You kind of just have to choose one
yeah,
from each.
that feels right. This
Yeah.
list feels right.
Yeah.
Outside backer starting Micah Parsons. We
Okay.
knew that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Starting Zadarius Smith from Minnesota and backup Hassan Reddick from Philadelphia.
I feel like Brian Burns got
Brian Burns was starting at end.
was he starting at?
Yeah,
Okay, my
Brian
bad.
Burns starting at
I
end.
did not hear him. My bad.
Obviously no argument with Micah. I think Zadarius is having a real good year out in Minnesota.
Zadarius is the only reason their defense is able to function. To be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no complaints
Yeah,
there.
Next.
Really. Inside linebacker. Fred Warner starting, Demario Davis backing up. Fred Warner's the best linebacker in football. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise.
Fred Warner is insane.
Fred Warner should absolutely be starting there.
That makes sense.
Demario Davis is a little bit of a name guy there. I can't really speak to how good of a season he's having. I know his team sucks.
No, he's on the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of whatever. It's not great.
Do we have anyone we could think of interior?
Roquan before he got traded.
Yeah, but he was starting in the AFC.
Shaq Thompson's technically an inside linebacker. He's had a good year.
Is he?
I think so. I
I
think
think he's probably outside.
Let me
outside.
look. Let me see what he's at. Shaq Thompson. I know both Shaq Thompson and Brian Burns have had good years.
I'm just kind of going through the divisions here.
Let me see. He's just
No
rated.
Eric Kendricks. That's usually
He's
a
just rated
perennial
as a
name.
linebacker. I mean, he has 110 tackles. Doesn't have really great sack numbers though. So
Yeah, but definitely no problems with Fred Warner.
yeah,
So,
no, that makes. I mean, he might be the All-Pro linebacker this year. So
some interesting stuff at cornerback.
corner. Ooh, okay.
Starting Darius Slay and Trayvon Diggs. Backing up the rookie stud Tariq Woolen and Jair Alexander.
I know that name.
Tariq Woolen has had a great.
I think Tariq Woolen should be starting there. He leads the NFL in interceptions.
Yeah, I think Woolen should be starting over Diggs.
I think a snub here.
Diggs
It's-
gets cooked quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Diggs
guys
is
are on
name.
a false narrative there.
Diggs is a name.
Diggs has not been getting cooked this year like he was last year. Diggs
Oh,
is
sure.
playing really good this
He's
year.
playing better, but he's still.
Diggs
my
is
point
a
is
Pro
he-
Bowler, but
he's
maybe not.
usually consistent, but he tends to get burnt once or twice a game.
I have two snubs
which
here.
is
Well, I mean,
what
most
you-
corners do.
I
Yeah,
have
but-
two snubs here.
Who are the snubs?
First, J.C. Horn
I was
out
gonna
of
say
Carolina.
J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn's a huge one. I agree.
I think J.C. Horn's playing incredible. The second
I
one
think that's just sad.
is Darius Slay's teammate, James Bradbury, and Darius Slay's other teammate, C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
But C.J. Gardner-Johnson's listed as a safety, and he's been hurt though.
Is he listed as a safety?
I'm saying I think his position is safety, but he can play corner.
Well, he's not on this list, and I think he led the league in interceptions before he got injured, and he's actually a nickel, really. He led the league in interceptions before he got hurt, and I think he's still second.
Has Terrell had a good year at Atlanta? Has he had a good year?
Oh, AJ Terrell,
I haven't really heard much. I know he got hurt, but then he was back.
not 100% positive on him.
Okay. I mean,
I think we got listed a couple good names there.
Yeah.
Quandre Diggs at the starting free safety out in Seattle, and Buda Baker and Talanoa Hufanga out of San Francisco. I've never heard of him before.
no, Hufanga's legit.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that
Hufanga's
name.
legit.
I definitely watched
Buda
him do a
Baker's-
lot of stuff
Buda
this week.
Baker is also good. There are 2 snubs, both from Washington, in this category.
I can't name your safeties.
Cameron Curl and Derek Forrest are
I-
snubs. They are been rated top 5 safety for the entire. Both have been top 5 in safeties the entire year. I can understand. They
This
have
is
been.
number one,
They have
number
been.
1 and 2.
Nah. Buda Baker's been a
is-
name this year. Buda Baker
I
has
do
not had
sort
a
of.
great year.
I agree with George's thing here. Like, it's being in the top 5 is good, and they probably are consistently the best. But, like, again, I think this is a little bit more of a popularity
Cameron
contest.
Curl literally plays linebacker and safety for Washington. Like, he is literally their starting middle linebacker.
Well, that's
Kinda
what
what
I'm.
Buda Baker
But
does
that's
a
what
little
I'm wondering. Is that why he's not here?
No, everyone knows him as a safety. Well,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I
he
feel
is-
like I'm missing some NFC. Harrison Smith not on here out of Minnesota. That's a perennial
Harrison
name.
Smith. Isn't the safety for the Lions good, or is he not?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
You know who name I don't hear over here?
But
Richard
Hapanuga-
Sherman. Is
He
he having?
retired.
He
He's
retired? I thought he was
he's
still
been
playing.
he's been on the Sunday night broadcast.
Really?
or
He
the-
does
or the
Thursday night broadcast.
I thought he
every
was
week.
still in there. I've like seen pictures of him.
No,
Yeah, because he
it's
does the
not-
Thursday night broadcast
Oh,
every week.
okay.
But no, Hafanuga's legit. He is really fucking good.
Hufanga.
Hufanga, sorry.
Oh, this is- I don't know.
Hufanga.
shit.
I don't know how to
I don't know.
pronounce
I might be saying that wrong, but I think I'm
But
close.
That sounds
he
right.
might be better than close to me. But yeah, the safety from
Oh,
the 49ers is
James, I
legit.
think you're about to get excited.
Is Treshway on there?
Starting punter Treshway.
Let's go, baby!
Best
player
starting
on the
lawn
team.
snapper. Give our recognition where recognition's due. Andrew DePaola.
There you go. Respect
Cam-
the fellow
Minnesota
Drew.
Vikings.
I respect the fellow
Cam
Drew.
Cam Cheese.
Plays kicker. Jason Myers out of Seattle. That's a different name.
All right, that's
Return specialist Cavante Turpin, Dallas Cowboys. That
I've never heard.
that's warranted. Oh, James, there's another Washington player on this list.
is Jeremy Reeves the
Jeremy
special teamer?
Reeves is the special
Dude, I
teamer.
love Jeremy Reeves.
Real
bro.
quick, we gotta count this up. 1, 2,
They have 4, I think.
3, 4 Pro Bowlers.
We had 1 last year. Or no, we had 2 last year. But Treshway was on last year. My boy's doubling up. No,
So those are our Pro Bowlers.
No, to be completely honest though, Jeremy Reeves is an insane special teams player. He's basically made a living off it. Come on and off the Washington practice squad every single year. Solid player, solid dude. He deserves it. I'm happy for him.
All right, we are moving on from the
Does
Pro
that
Bowl
wait?
talk.
Does that mean between our 3 teams that Washington has the most Pro Bowlers?
Probably.
The Browns had 3.
Washington
Steelers
4.
had Minka and TJ.
Washington had 4. We had the most Pro Bowlers.
We had Miles, we had Joel Batonio, Nick Chubb. But all ours were starters.
Fire Moose should be on
All
there.
right. I mean, we had 3 starters
Fire Moose should be
and
on there.
Terry.
All right, but we're gonna get off the Pro Bowl. Obviously important. But we're gonna move to a little bit of a different
My boys.
football. We talk
different
about
kind of football.
We talk a lot of American
One
football
where
here,
you
but
use your feet.
yeah, well, you use your feet. There's kicking. There's
Yeah,
You
there's
use your
kickers.
feet more.
Hey,
yeah, sure.
Hey, Jason Myers just got a Pro Bowl
But
now.
there was a
He's kicker.
big. Everyone, I'm sure everybody was watching. At least have heard about the World Cup. Argentina is absolutely collapsing right now under the weight of
Oh, yeah, I was
the
gonna say, Argentina-
nationwide party that is going on. Did you see? I've seen videos of just like the police letting the floods through onto the highway, and it's just like
Oh yeah, there's
thousands
just the floods
of people.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Argentinian economy is down currently. It is
Oh.
not running.
I gotta share this.
Oh, that's outside of Messi's house.
They're saying something. They're outside, not Messi's house.
Messi's
They are
grandma.
outside Messi's grandmother's house, and they're saying something along the lines of "De abuela de Messi." I might be saying that, but they're saying the grandmother of Messi is
Yeah.
what they're chanting outside of her house.
Yeah, I mean that.
And in the
checks
video
out.
later, they bring her down, and there's just like 100,000 people just screaming because it's Messi's grandmother. There's videos that they had to use helicopters to get them out of the middle of the parade because the buses couldn't move anymore. And then when Messi pulled into his driveway, he couldn't even get into his own home because it was crowded with thousands of people.
No, but that's
there
the
to
thing.
celebrate.
The
him.
celebration is obviously crazy, but the game itself was even
Oh
crazier.
my, the game was awesome.
The Messi,
Arguably
two
the
goals,
best World Cup ever.
two goals.
Messi had two.
Mbappe for France
Kylian
had
Mbappe
a hat trick.
hat trick. 2 penalty kicks go in for him too, because that's where 2 of his goals
Yeah.
came. But
If the
incredible
World
game.
Cup's going to penalty kicks, we're having a good time.
Yeah, no, and that's
And
I
the
think
announcers were saying the whole time, if this goes to penalty kicks, France should be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was right.
And here's my thing though, just sort of bringing it back home a little bit. We always joke, if our athletes, if our best football athletes,
If we put LeBron in the goal,
if we put LeBron in the goal and we put DeAndre Hopkins on wing,
who's stopping Aaron
Tyreek
Donald?
Hill, put Tyreek Hill in attack.
Bro, put Matt Judon out there. He'll sack him.
We want TJ Watt at defender. But if
I
we,
buy into this argument.
no, but that's sure. My point is in the next 4 years, do we actually see America, especially given how much more it was promoted and how many more people it seemed actually cared about it this year?
Dude, it seemed this year way more than any other year. America got into it.
No.
Well, I think America got into it because we were
Actually in it.
Yeah, yeah. Because like
The last time we were in it, we were alive. It was 2014.
Yeah, I would say because the World Cup before this one, we weren't in it. So I mean, obviously
And we've never really been good.
Yeah, this
No,
was
but that's how have we never been good?
'Cause we
we're
don't-
like
our kids
our,
go-
our
our kids-
entire joking or the entire meme nationally is that all we do is play sports and drink beer.
Yeah,
like,
but like
Our
soccer's-
kids are when you're growing up. What are the 3 sports you
I
play? as a
played
kid growing
soccer
up?
and
Okay, you're weird.
I
Yeah,
played
most
12
peop-
seasons of soccer.
most of the
Most kids growing up
athletes
play
football.
football,
My best friend-
basketball,
and baseball.
My best friends, my 2 best friends, I met through soccer.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you're special.
I got my best friends here too, but
Yeah,
Neither.
you did not meet me
Neither.
through
I also
soccer.
played soccer when I was younger, but like
I got
it
too many
still,
best friends.
But it still wasn't like for most people. It's
Who did
not
you
the
meet
most
in
prom-
soccer?
It's not
Zach
the
and
most prominent
Marty.
sport. Did you really?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, Zach was technically through preschool.
Anyway.
I want to say, did me and Zach not? Me and
La
Zach
abuela de
definitely play
Messi.
soccer against each other at least.
Either way, soccer is not taken as seriously in America
Oh,
as
sure.
it is anywhere. As it
The
as it
MLS is a Mickey Mouse league compared to the Premier League.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I mean, there are people from like the Premier Leagues and from just other abroad leagues that will come to the MLS when they can't play in the Premier Leagues anymore because they can make a ton of money and still.
I have
kick
to say,
people.
something that I learned through this World Cup journey of mine and discovering soccer is that Messi and Mbappe are on a team together.
Yeah,
so there's a
Saint-Germain,
lot of
yeah.
PSG.
Yeah, PSG.
There
Paris
was
Saint-Germain. Yeah.
a lot of memes of Messi walking into practice Monday morning. Yay.
How's it going, bud?
But so happy for Messi and
It was
Argentina.
a great game overall.
When you see how they're celebrating and they're crying in the streets, you're like,
I
these
wish
guys
we-
deserved it more than America.
No, but let me tell you,
I mean, America didn't even get close
if
to
that is what Argentina looks like after a dub, I want live footage of New York City.
It
And
wouldn't be as cool as Argentina.
No.
I
gonna say
think.
it
Oh,
would
I'm
not
going
be
to
as
tell you.
cool.
I think it would be. I think we'd have quite the thing. We've got some guests potentially pulling up to our podcast right now, so we're going to be wrapping things up. But we're going to get going through some more content.
Next week, big games.
Well, one big thing before we move on from our bulk portion here, I think the important thing is it's going to be real
10
brief.
seconds for this.
Yeah, it's 10 seconds because it's happening in less than 10 days.
Yep.
Sports betting is coming to Ohio.
Let's go.
It's going to be
baby.
legalized in the new
FanDuel,
year.
DraftKings.
We're going to have a big...
Give us a sponsorship.
I'm
please.
going to be gambling so much because I drive like 15 minutes over the border to do it anyways right now. I'm going to be doing it from the comfort of my home then. One more bulk portion. We're going to try to get through it real quick. Everyone take a big game here. Start predicting them what you think here.
Okay, I'll take Packers Dolphins. I think the Packers get eliminated from the playoffs. I still think Mike McDaniel's an awesome NFL coach, and I think the Dolphins are going to hang on to their wild card spot. Bress, I don't appreciate your laughter.
We're getting
And-
made fun of here, boys. He doesn't. Our guest doesn't watch sports.
He calls it sports ball.
If anyone else showed up to this meeting first, we would have been able to bring him on here and maybe talk a little bit. But sadly, this is the one guest that won't talk sports ball.
All right, I'll take.
Give me the Dolphins. Big. Aaron Rodgers, go home.
I'll take Giants Vikings. I think the Vikings win. I think they show they're.
Really?
I think they show they're more legit than everyone thinks. They're coming off a huge win, keeping the momentum. Kirk Cousins, Pro Bowler. Justin Jefferson, Pro Bowler. Zadarius Smith, Pro Bowler, leading the team against Dexter Lawrence, Pro Bowler, and Saquon, Pro Bowler. Give me the Vikings. not winning big, but I'd say they win by a score, maybe 10 points.
One more big playoff implication game, I think, especially after they fell through against the Raiders last week. Pats Bengals. And sadly, for me to side with this team in the AFC North, it feels a little bad, but I just don't think the Pats are going to be able to keep up with Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They got too much going on there. I think they've got better players all around. Even if is Jamar still hurt?
No, he's
No, he's
playing.
back.
That's what I'm saying.
Jamar's playing.
Jamar's back. It's give me Bengals by like 10. Give me a double digit win here.
All right,
All
boys.
right, everyone, go through it. Give 2 reasons why your team is going to win this week, because we know you're not picking your team to lose. Oh wait, except James. James, you can give us 2 reasons you think you have
The chance.
A chance.
The chance.
The Browns are going to win for 2 reasons. First of all, our pass rush is going to get to the red rifle, Andy Dalton. Come on, if we lose to Andy Dalton to end our playoff hopes, I'm giving it up. And the other reason we're at home, First Energy Field, Amari Cooper balls.
This is definitely going to be a good game for y'all, but again, it's hard for me to imagine y'all losing to the Saints. The Saints aren't good. You shouldn't. They're not the Steelers that you lose games you shouldn't as much, I feel like. But we'll get that going. James, we could head it over to your Commanders next, I guess.
Yeah, they're probably gonna lose. Probably gonna lose bad. 49ers are probably the best team in the NFC, but if they have a chance to win, it's gonna be through a insane defensive performance by Jonathan Allen, Pro Bowler, and I'd also say, for some reason, Washington tends to do really well in big games that they have every reason to lose, and they have every reason to lose this game. This is a big game for them. They could somehow pull it out and shock everyone again. They did it earlier against the Eagles this year. They did it 2 years ago against the undefeated Steelers. They have a chance.
Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye.
No, they're listen, I think the Commanders have a better chance than James is saying here. I'm not as confident in the 49ers as everyone else thinks they are, and I think any game is winnable in the
Expect to
NFL.
see Carson Wentz.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Expect to see Carson Wentz.
Moving it down to Pittsburgh, though, we were supposed to have a great game here, and like we said at the top of the thing, it's sad, the whole situation with Franco, but this is an even sadder situation given the week it happened in.
50th anniversary.
This is the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. Franco Harris was getting his jersey retired this weekend. He was like, all him and all the people from that game. We had a bunch of vets coming in to celebrate it. We were supposed to have this big party. We've been talking this game up. I've been saying, like, the Steelers just will not lose this game. And I'm going to keep saying that, but I'm going to give you 2 reasons. My first reason is I don't think the Raiders, while they won last week, I think the way they won, like you said, is a little silly.
A little silly.
A little silly. I think if we held the Raiders to 24 points, I think we
It's
could.
not that hard.
I think we could do it.
Can you score more than 24?
We scored 24 this week.
Can you score
Against
The Panthers D, which y'all say is good.
No, okay, well, okay, let's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's calm down there.
And so
I
my
think
point
the
is
Steelers win too.
2 wins. I think we can win on. I think the Steelers will just be able to put more points on the board, and I think the ghost of Franco Harris is speaking to the Big Madden upstairs. He's getting us this dub because we won our storyline Week 17 matchup against the Browns. The NFL is rigged. The NFL is writing storylines into the thing, and the storyline they want right now is a Week 17 Steelers-Browns playoff game.
All right, well, let's give it out for the boys one last time here.
A little because we've got a big game here with the Jaguars and Jets, and I'm telling you, Jaguars are winning this.
Jaguars win.
Jaguars winning this one.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence goes off.
Zach Wilson's playing, right?
Oh yeah.
It could be Mike White.
Is Mike White coming back?
That's a little scarier. Okay.
But Trevor Lawrence still a dog.
Trevor Lawrence,
we're winning this
they're on
game.
fire.
Zay Jones is catching like 7
boys
touchdowns.
are winning this
I'm
game.
winning my fantasy playoff game.
All right.
All right.
We've got
Bets.
one final thing before we sign off. Again, we're obviously going to keep track of
got
this. And give me this
settlers of
notepad
Catan to
because
play.
I got it.
Yeah,
we've
we
got
do.
board games to play. We've got people. And
Tear that off. I got no
yeah,
bets.
there you go. All right.
All right. James, you want to go first?
Well, no.
Later looks up his bets.
We usually have a way to go about it, but I can if you guys can give me spreads on it while I talk about it. I'm gonna give you my picks. I can give you first because I am in the lead.
I can do it. Give me a
Do you need to
second.
pull up spreads?
I can tell me the game and I got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So my first game, I'm telling you, I'm going with a regular pick for my Steelers here. I'm taking Pitt, whatever the spread is.
And it looks like you're minus 2.5.
Yeah, it's Pittsburgh minus 2.5.
All right, I'm taking that. The next one I'm looking at here is I'm staying in division. Give me that Bengals over the Pats, whatever the spread is.
Bengals minus 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yep. Bengals minus 3.
That feels really good.
Foreshadowing that may or may not be my lock of the week.
Um,
I already had it circled.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine. The next thing I'm probably gonna want to look at I want to look a little bit more. What's the Bills spread against the Bears?
Like 11.
It's minus 8.5.
8.5. Oh.
Give me the Bears.
Oh.
Give me the Bears to play a little bit of football. Justin Fields is still playing,
Right,
right?
he's still playing?
Yeah,
He's still playing?
I think I like that guy. Give me him plus 8.5. And then my final regular pick before we get going. Give me the Vikings.
Okay, Vikings.
Unless you picked the. Did you
It's
pick
Vikings. It's Vikings minus 4.
same as last week?
Yep.
All right, that's my normal picks. We can head it over to George now for his 4 normals.
All right, cool.
First pick, and I want to emphasize this, so I'm going to grab the mic.
Okay.
Michael Graham, you're not going to the playoffs. The Texans are not only going to cover the +3 spread against the Titans,
Well, I have a
they're
+4.
going to outright win. I don't need +4. Give them to me at give 3.5. Let's go 3.5.
All right, that's fine. Average.
But I'm not going to need that
Based.
because the Texans are winning, and then the Jaguars are going to win, and the Titans aren't going to the playoffs. My second pick. Give me the Jaguars
That's a good pick.
+1.5 over the Jets. You getting this down over there, Nider?
I'm writing.
Third pick. Give me the Detroit Lions -2.5 over the Panthers. I've rode with the Lions in every episode, and I think they've hit every single time.
Yeah.
They're animals. And my last normal pick, I was gonna do this, but I'm moving off it. The ghost of Franco Harris is gonna haunt me if I would pick that. So I'm going Chargers -4.5 against the Colts.
Oh, okay. All right. For me, I am going to do Jaguars +1.5 against the Jets. Also, I think, George, you had that one as well.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to go with Vikings -4 versus the Giants.
Okay.
I'm going to go Saints +2.5 versus the Browns.
Wow. In Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
In the cold.
In the cold.
With Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton knows how to play. Andy Dalton knows how to play in the cold.
Red Rider. Well, are you inciting violence on our podcast?
I can't believe you would do this to us.
Never would do that.
And then,
on TikTok.
because Washington is stupid, I think they're going to cover Washington +7.
Wow. This man is brainwashed.
No, it's because this is a game they would cover for no reason.
All right.
There's every reason for them not to cover it, and they would.
All right, now James, we're gonna need your lock of the week here.
Sure, I got my lock of the week. My lock of the week is Seattle +10 versus the Chiefs.
Ooh.
You want to talk about that
Fighting
one a
for
little
their
bit?
playoff hopes.
Yeah, I believe. Hey, Geno Smith Pro Bowler versus Pat Mahomes the Pro Bowler. Seattle's fighting for their lives here. I think they lose by a score, but I don't think they lose by 10.
That's honestly a fair assessment. I like that one.
I like that actually too.
It's pretty basic.
I try my best.
George, we're gonna head your way for your lock.
Lock
now.
of the week: Bengals -3 versus the Pats. I think the Bengals are going for the 1 seed
They are.
because they have the tiebreakers if those other two teams lose another game.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals have a legit shot at a 1 seed. I think the Bengals are going to win this game by a lot.
I really thought about taking that. I really did.
Oh, I love it.
It's a great lock. I mean, I took the Bengals last week. It paid off.
Nider's finding his lock
I'm
of the
looking.
week.
Again, like I tell you every week, I will never write my bets ahead of the podcast. We're having too much good conversation here
Well,
for me to.
that's why I moved off the Raiders +2.5.
Well, that's what
against
that's what I'm
Pittsburgh.
saying.
You
I'm-
said the ghost of
I
Franco
just-
Harris
and
on
we
the
don't-
50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. I'm not taking that.
No,
mean,
my important
yeah.
thing too is
Plus-
like I'm not getting the games. I'm trying to find what.
Wait,
games
do you want to have Will pick it?
Hey,
Yeah, well,
Wait a
plus-
second.
Yeah, I can always pick it.
Yeah, no, that's actually.
But plus, like when you hear other people, like sometimes you bounce
Yeah,
ideas
and
off
so
of them.
Will,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Will,
have
get in
Will
here.
come
Will,
in.
come here. Will, come here. Come
Will,
here.
get in here.
Join the
We're gonna have right
podcast.
between me and George.
All right.
All right,
Glad
we're
to
looking
rock.
at my bets here, so we can't bet here, but we're looking for one lock of the week here. One person you think's gonna win in any of these games. I'll let you know if I picked them already.
You only just said one team?
Yeah.
Yep, that team. Yep, and he'll take the spread on that team.
Eagles.
Oh, what's the spread on it?
I don't know. What's the
James, find the
give me the
spread
spread
on
on
that.
that.
Find
Eagle.
the spread on the
That's
The
a
Cowboys are probably favored.
I think the
Cowboys are
favored.
favored, but I mean, Eagles have just been really dominant this
They
year.
have
And,
been.
like,
Good defense.
yeah, I mean, like I don't know.
It's the Eagles +5. That's actually. I mean, that's a legit. That's a good.
Yeah, it's like I mean,
We're taking it.
I mean, I honestly like. I think that the Eagles will get to the Super Bowl and then lose.
I
Like,
think-
kind of how the
you know, here's-
kind of how the Phillies did this
Will-
year. where they-
Will, you
A
get
Philadelphia roast.
Will,
Meek Mill's not good.
Will's our boy.
yeah.
Will watches football more than the average guy in our friend group, I think, a little bit. So the important thing is,
We play
I-
Dungeons and Dragons.
all right, but the thing is here.
And we sports ball.
The thing is
Sports
here.
ball, baby.
The thing is here. I think one thing
Hey,
that
George
these guys
Miles
could,
Garrett plays
one
D&D.
thing these guys could tell me about the
D&D.
podcast. I am not pro Cowboys. I'll take the Eagles. I'll ride against the Cowboys. Anyway.
Fuck the
And so
Cowboys.
yeah, there we go.
Pro
All right.
Bowler, Tony Pollard.
All right, boys. But with that, we got our bets. We'll be able to write those down onto the script a little later, obviously. But we wanted to once again thank you all for tuning in for our first whole live episode.
Live
especially
episode, live
once
episode.
again,
Worked
once
great.
again, if you actually get to the end of the video, I don't think anyone commented your secret keywords. Let's put
No
a
one
new
said I
keyword.
love maple syrup.
Yeah, well, we need a new keyword.
New
What do you think?
keyword.
Wario. All
Bro,
right.
you guys-
First person to type Wario gets to pick George's lock of the week next week.
Oh, okay, okay.
I love.
I'll
how,
take
like,
it.
I love how also like you not only had it like in person, but you also had like your friends and guest stars coming.
Oh, of course.
If,
And-
I wish I would have known what was happening earlier. I would have like.
well, we were just
said
trying to
we
get
were
it done.
trying
We
to
were
get-
Trying to
late.
get it done before everyone got
Use the
here.
code
This
Wario.
This is
for
the first time you guys
Blue
have been
Chew.
early.
Get yourself some
Oh,
blue
dude, hey,
chews.
James,
Get 10% off the
James,
Settlers of
James, you
Catan
got us
expansion
alive.
pack.
All right.
Yeah,
All
That's
right.
fair. That's fair.
But again, once again, wrapping it up, we wanted to thank you all. We got to check all our socials. We got on a few more platforms this week. We're on Amazon platform.
We are?
We're on Amazon, I think now.
right.
We're on
Spotify and
Spotify.
YouTube.
We're on
TikTok,
Twitter,
Twitter,
RSS.
RSS.
As you should.
So much. Two other random podcast websites I don't remember the name of right now.
Essentially
I heard
anything
radio.
but Apple Music.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Get
Don't
on.
look for us
We're
there.
on Samsung podcast.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that's a. But
James,
Not used by
don't
anyone.
disrespect.
no, but the
James,
important thing is
seven.
we
James,
appreciate
James,
all
James.
interaction. We like talking to people, and we definitely appreciate any interaction we get. So remember to subscribe, follow us, whatever it is on the different platform. Like and comment on all our videos,
about
especially if
negative
you have different
interactions?
comments. Negative interactions are welcome too, because we're stupid. Tell us we're
Chris, if you're
stupid.
gonna comment on our podcast, you better show your face.
And so the thing is, again, we're wrapping up this
No.
week. We'll be back again next week, hopefully, with another week of analysis. Hopefully, we don't have as many depressing starts. But remember, things came down on this podcast. Fans are on the line, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening with us. We're going to wrap it up here. It's been good.
Thanks,
Talk to
guys.
y'all
Yeah,
later.
yeah, guys.
Peace out.